Day against the Dallas Cowboys. Lost 3-0, but when the ones were in the game, they controlled it. And coach, the new coach looks remarkably relaxed going into the game now.
Yeah, he was. We in our visit with him yesterday, last night, he was pretty well loose and very confident. He felt very good about his team, all aspects of it, and was not that overly concerned with the injuries. Felt that everybody would get well in time, but no, he wasn't uptight, I know that.
Ken Wisenhunt a little more so uptight. His team has not played well. They've already played 2 preseason games with the extra Hall of Fame game. They were beaten by the Saints that night, Jim, and lost in Kansas City last week. And he promises to play his starters as long as need be. He says, I'm going to play them until they get it right, and he may play them the whole game.
If he has to, he probably will. I think he's just the opposite of Dennis Allen. I think he feels a little bit more pressure. He's under the gun a little bit more. They have not been playing well at all. Although they finished the season strong last year, 7-2 in their last 9 games, but off to a very slow start, and they're having trouble deciding on what quarterback to go with, Cobb or Skelton.
They are going to start Kevin Cobb tonight. John Skelton will follow. The Raiders will get the football first to open the game tonight. The veteran kicker Jay Feely in his 12th year, 4 in Atlanta, 2 in New York with the Giants, a year in Miami, and 2 in New York with the New York Jets. Now his 3rd here in Arizona. Not a real strong-legged kicker. And back to return the electrifying Jacoby Ford. 4 kickoff returns for scores in his young career. We're underway from Glendale. Hope you enjoy this preseason contest. He's coming out led by Mike Goodson and Dave Tollefson. And he will get past the 10 and up to around the 13-yard line. Only a 19-yard return for Jacoby Ford. So Carson Palmer in his first full year as the Raider quarterback. Of course, they traded for him last October, Tom, after the injury to Jason Campbell. And he's light years ahead in every manner, physically and mentally, from where he was midseason last year.
Yeah, absolutely. He came in 3 days of practice. He had to play half of the game. He hadn't been doing anything, but maybe throwing a little bit on the beach. And he was, to use an old phrase, rusty.
Raiders go into a slot left. They're going to fake the stretch right, roll the quarterback left. He throws, almost intercepted by the diving safety, Adrian Wilson. They drag the tight end, Richard Gordon, underneath there, and that ball was almost intercepted. As we check out the Raider offensive personnel around Carson Palmer tonight, Denarius Moore will miss with a hamstring injury. So the receivers are Jacoby Ford and Darius Sayward-Bay. McFadden will play the first quarter, and the rest of the starters will play about a half. Marcel Reese and Richard Gordon for Brandon Myers. Jared Valdir, left tackle. Cooper Carlisle, center. Alex Parsons for Stefan Wisniewski, is missing with a calf injury. The new guard is right guard is Mike Bricel, and Khalif Barnes at right tackle. Palmer throws out left. He bounces it short to Darius Sayward-Bay, and Adrian Wilson is all over the field tonight, twice in coverage, once on the receiver, and that time on the tight end to start, and that time on the receiver. Their front 3 can be menacing if Dan Williams plays well. Calais Campbell and Darnell Dockett are great players. Sam Acho. It'll be Stuart Bradley for Paris Lennon. Darrell Washington, the young star, and Clark Higgins, the former Pittsburgh Steeler. Patrick Peterson, the young corner from LSU. Opposite William Gay, the former Steeler. Adrian Wilson will be a Hall of Famer one day, and Kerry Rhodes also very strong. Raiders looking at a 3rd down here and 10. Inside handoff to McFadden, and they're going to go 3 and out and punt the football away, Tom. It's only got 3 yards on that series.
Yeah, and the Cardinals are putting a little pressure on them. They're playing man-to-man, and they're coming after them a little bit. They're bringing their linebackers off the edge. That time, there was no place to run. One of the backers off the edge made a nice play, Walker.
Carson Palmer had pressure throughout that series, so the Raiders go 3 and out. Shane Leckler, pro football's best punter, at arthroscopic surgery right before camp started, so young Marquette King with a very strong leg will punt. John Kondo will snap, and King will take it from the 2-yard line, and he puts his foot into it. He blasts it Leckler style. What a punt. Patrick Peterson, no room to go. He took 4 back last year for scores. Gets outside and down the sideline. Midfield. Finally pulled down by Mike Mitchell on the Raider 41-yard line. A 68-yard punt by King, but Patrick Peterson took it back 43 yards.
Yeah, that's what happens sometimes when you outkick your coverage. Gives the receiver the chance to have a big run back. Defenders couldn't get down there quick enough. Left a lot of space to make some room for the runner to get up the field.
Philip Wheeler missed 1 tackle, so a glorious drive start for Kevin Cobb, the embattled former Philadelphia Eagle turned Arizona Cardinal. Jim, he got hurt last year. They went to John Skelton. The defense played well at the end of the year, so they won, and Cobb is not having a very good training camp.
No, he's not. I think he's struggling, put a lot of pressure on himself to make it work. They gave up a lot for him to get it from Philadelphia, where he played well in place of Michael Vick, but since he's been a Cardinal, struggled the whole time.
Rod Housley, the tight end, on the move here. It's a handoff to the new running back, just back after tearing his patella tendon almost exactly a year ago, Ryan Williams, and he got stopped in his tracks by Lamar Houston. The offensive personnel around Kevin Cobb. Ryan Williams just back, the second-year pro from Va Tech. Anthony Sherman, the lead blocker. Larry Fitzgerald, a Hall of Famer to be. Early Doucette is the very capable receiver with Todd Heap. The tackles are struggling here. Levi Brown, and they're going to start D'Anthony Baptiste tonight. The inside guys are very good. Darren College, Lyle Sundline, and Adam Snyder, the former Niner. Cobb throws out left. Catch made there by Early Doucette. He's wrapped up by Shante Spencer and Brian McCann, who will be the Raider nickelback tonight. Michael Huff is not here. Neither is Pat Lee, as they're both awaiting to become fathers. Raider front four, Matt Shaughnessy. Richard Seymour will play 2 series tonight. Tommy Kelly and Lamar Houston. Rolando McClain in the middle, flanked by 2 new linebackers, Miles Burris and Philip Wheeler. The new corners are Shante Spencer, the former Niner, and Ron Bartell, the former Ram. And it's Tyvon Branch in the deep secondary with Matt Giordano tonight, with Michael Huff, again waiting to become a father for young new defensive coordinator Jason Tarver. Third down coming up for Kevin Cobb and the Cardinals out of the shotgun. Cobb has time, throws out wide, caught by Early Doucette, first down Arizona. A flag came down as the tackle was being made. This is a post-play penalty, Tom, but Doucette's got enough for the first down.
Yeah, a little nice move to the inside. Doucette just a little shake and bake to the inside. Did a nice job getting open, ran it on McCann, Brian McCann.
And we are using replacement officials. Our replacement referee tonight is Donovan Briggins. I think this flag may be against the Raiders here. Here's our referee, Donovan Briggins.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, linebacker, penalties declined, result of play as a first down.
In college football, they don't often give the numeral, Jim, but in pro football, they usually do. They just said linebacker on the hold here. All of these officials are from the lower levels of college football. None come from Division I conferences. And it sounds like, Coach, that this may actually, this lockout of the officials, creep into the regular season.
Yeah, Roger Goodell said that it's probably going to go into the first weekend for sure.
Here's Kevin Cobb, a play action to Williams. He throws out left. It's caught by the fullback, Anthony Sherman, but he's blasted immediately by Shante Spencer. The former 49er, Jim, timed that up beautifully on the fullback in the flat and blasted him once he caught the ball.
Yeah, certainly is. They are putting a little pressure on Cobb, but they're not quite getting to him. A lot of short passes, getting the ball off quickly, so he has the less chance, or less likely to be sacked, and is getting off and throwing accurately.
Lamar Houston got good pressure from his left end position going around to D'Anthony Baptiste, who is starting for Jeremy Bridges. Part of the problem Cobb has had is the pass rush. Here's a counter handoff to Williams. Great block by Larry Fitzgerald, and down the sideline for a first down. It'll be first and goal to go Arizona on the Raider 5-yard line. 15-yard run by Ryan Williams, Coach, and Larry Fitzgerald can do everything, including block.
Yeah, a wonderful player, just an absolute complete player. Did a nice job blocking on the edge. And Ryan Williams starting tonight for Beanie Wells. Did a nice job in using the blocker and picking up good yards.
Was Fitz blocking or holding Shante Spencer?
Well, that's what you get you get a little benefit of the doubt when you're a veteran like him.
First and goal to go for Arizona. They're going to an offset eye. Sherman, the fullback, in motion left. Here's a toss sweep to Ryan Williams. Rolando McClain played that beautifully. Stepped up, Tom. He was not sitting in the middle of the Raider defense that time, but he was out on the edge, and he read that, and nobody blocked him, and he stuffed Ryan Williams.
Yeah, he anticipated very well, and that's one of the things that they're hoping he can do this year is anticipate and get that half-a-step jump. That time he did, and he made a nice play.
If he looks lighter, he is lighter, Jim. The coaching staff gave him a mandate, show up to nap at 260 pounds, and he did.
Yeah, he did. He did a wonderful job in losing that weight, making himself quicker, be able to get the edges a lot quicker with that reduction in weight.
Look for a fade here to Larry Fitzgerald, one-on-one with Shante Spencer. Now they're going to hand it off to Ryan Williams, and he gets into the end zone for an Arizona touchdown. A little too easy there, Tom, off their offensive left on the Raider right for Ryan Williams, the former round 2 pick out of Virginia Tech. What a moment It's almost exactly a year ago in a preseason game that he tore his patella tendon. He's been out ever since.
Yeah, but this offensive line of the Arizona Cardinals is a pretty veteran line. They've got a pretty good team. Levi Brown to left tackle, and right down all the way down the line, they're pretty good. And there's nothing second rate on them. They made that look easy though, and the Raider defense got a good lesson.
And they ran behind their best lineman, the left guard, Darren College, formerly of Green Bay. Jay Feely never misses an extra point. He's made 297 in a row in the regular season. So they go right down the field. Good punt return to the score by Williams. 7-0 Arizona on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Over on the sideline with Jason Garber. Not a good start, coach. Offense goes 3 and out. They have a 46-yard punt return. They go right down the field. 7 plays, 41 yards on offensive score, and the Raider #1 defense.
Well, the punt return started the whole process, and once you get a good punt return like that and get great field position, your whole attitude changes, and that was the key right there. They executed very well, passing and running the ball.
Let's take a look at the Raider scoring drive summary brought to you by IBM, working to help mid-sized businesses become the engines of a smarter planet. You can learn more at ibm.com/engines. The Cardinals go 7 plays, 41 yards on the drive, and they do it in 2:55. And you knew, Jim, that they would be fired up tonight. The Arizona Cardinals have played 2 preseason games already to the Raiders 1, plus they scrimmaged the Kansas City Chiefs after the Hall of Fame game in advance of their Week 2 game against the Chiefs, and they looked dreadful in their first 2 games. The coach aired them out, and this is their home opener tonight.
Yeah, and you're right about having been aired out. The coach wasn't going to chewed their butts off, telling them, you got to play better. You're a better football team than that, and they came out fired up.
This is a team 4 years ago that was 37 seconds away from winning a Super Bowl. Good kickoff by Feely. Jacoby Ford 6 yards deep, coming out, led by Mike Goodson. He started right, cuts left, and he will not make the 20-yard line again time. He's had 3 kickoff returns as a Raider returner, and he's not made the 20 yet. So Carson Palmer, the offense, will get a second crack when we come back to Glendale. 10:50 to go in the first quarter. 7-0 Arizona on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. NFL.com fantasy football is as legit as fantasy gets. Enjoy free live scoring and instant video highlights. Go legit. Sign up for free at NFL.com/fantasy. Greg Papa, Tom Flores, Jim Plunkett on your Raiders radio and TV simulcast. Down 3-0 starting inside their 20-yard line. Carson Palmer stretch handoff to McFadden, a cutback, and nothing there at all. Sam Acho, the outside linebacker, stepped up their time. As you get a good look at the Raiders' new running scheme, they started to go wide there. He's supposed to cut and come downhill, but Acho was sitting right in the backside hole.
Well, what the Cardinals are doing, and they've been doing it from the very first play of the game, they're coming. They're bringing their backers. They're hitting the gaps, and they're trying to penetrate into that zone blocking scheme that the Raiders have this year.
Sam Acho, a good-looking young linebacker out of the University of Texas, stuck McFadden after no gain. 2nd and 10 Raiders on their own 18. Stretch run again, McFadden cuts back middle, and nothing there. Reggie Walker out of Grant High School up in Sacramento, Jim, again playing the cutback hole there. Not the front 3, but the linebackers are sitting in the cutback hole.
Yeah, they're feeling real well coming from the backside, so that cutback's not there yet. But eventually, the game wears on, there's going to be some holes opening up.
Terry McFadden, the first 3 times he touched the ball on Monday against the Cowboys, he generated 38 yards of offense. Tonight, 3 carries, only 4 yards. 3rd down and 8, Raiders on their own 20-yard line, a bunch formation right. In fact, a 2-by-2. Palmer throws out left. It is caught for a first down by Jacoby Ford. Across the Raider 30, up to around the 32-yard line. He beat the slot corner, the rookie round 3, Jamel Fleming, for 16 yards in the Raiders' first down of the night.
Yeah, that was one of that was the only zone defense that I've seen tonight. And he just got behind the underneath coverage and did a nice little short corner route there. The ball was thrown perfectly.
Yeah, and they only rushed 4 guys. That gave Carson Palmer plenty of time to get the ball off.
Jacoby Ford goes wide right, watched by Patrick Peterson. Going left is Darius Hayward-Bay, watched by William Gay, the former Steeler. Palmer, a play action, and McFadden, a blitz, a throw out left, and a catch, a leaping catch to the Raider 45-yard line is Darius Hayward-Bay. A flag is down, though, in the interior line.
Yeah, that's going to be the roughing the passer penalty. I'm pretty sure on Dockett.
Yeah, once again, they came, with a couple of linebackers, put a heavy rush on Carson Palmer.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 90. 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
And they were able to pick it up. So they did a great job in pass protection. A little roughing the passer, added another 15 yards. So all in all, it turned out to be a very good play.
And it was Darnell Dockett, Tom, that hit him, and he hit him low. That's the Tom Brady bill, if you will, when he got hit and blew out his knee opening day against Kansas City. You can't hit the quarterback below the knee.
Yeah, especially when you're down the ground and you're crawling, then you better be very careful when you touch that quarterback's knees because he's unprotected.
So a 14-yard gain to Hayward Bay and the 15 yards for Ruff and Palmer, and the Raiders are on the Arizona 39-yard line. Arizona leads 7-0. 8.5 to go in the opening quarter. Lone back is Darren McFadden. They give it to McFadden coming left. Breaks a tackle, 30, 25, 20. Breaks another tackle and dives down to the 16-yard line. A nice counter, quick hitter, Tom, coming the other way. And a 23-yard gallop by Run DMC.
Yeah, a little change of pace there with a little counter with the tight end coming back from the strong side and leading through the hole. And McFadden following his blockers very well. Also a good block by the right guard, Bryce Hill.
Yeah, they changed up the running scheme. The Cardinals have been playing the outside zone, Jim. That time they countered and pulled the guard and more downhill football. Now they give it to McFadden, and he goes off the stretch left. A very well executed fake, and that's a big part of this offense, Jim, is the quarterback executing the fakes even when he gives the ball to McFadden like that, pretending he kept the ball, and Palmer did it very deftly there.
Yeah, and as the game progresses, that'll help him more and more to do that play-action fake. Hand off, and all of a sudden he keeps the ball, looks downfield for a receiver.
McFadden picked up 4. Second down and 6. Raiders inside the Arizona red zone. Darius Hayward-Bay goes wide, watched by Patrick Peterson. Jacoby Ford is left, played loosely by William Gay. Now they flex out Marcel Reese, the fullback. Lone back is McFadden. Palmer throwing end zone. It is caught. Dropped. Darius Hayward-Bay had it in the end zone and then lost it. Would have been a touchdown.
Oh, well thrown ball too. Well designed play. They had exactly what they wanted. Darius Bay ran a little short post, and he had position on the defender inside. It was his own defense, and he just dropped the ball.
They spread out the defense, had to go man across the board. Marcel Reese creates a lot of problems out there, and they had Darius Hayward-Bay at the post. Got to hang on to those.
Third down and 6. Raiders on the Arizona 13. McFadden, the lone back. Streeter out of the right slot. Palmer looking, throwing for Streeter. Streeter caught, and a flag is down. It's going to be a pass interference. Did he catch it? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Raiders. What a catch by Rod Streeter. He was well covered. In fact, he was interfered with as he went up in a crowd, Tom, and pulled the ball down.
And a great job by Carson Palmer, and looking one way. His receiver, the first receiver, was not there. He made a pump and came right back. The protection was great and made the throw.
This will be reviewed, of
course.
Pass
interference. Defense, number 23. Penalties declined. Result of play is a touchdown.
William Gay interfered. They will review this because it is a scoring play. Even if they prove, as Palmer threw that off his back foot and just jumped in the air to avoid the pressure, even if they claim Streeter did not catch this.
The previous play
and I don't think he
is under review.
He lost the ball on the way to the ground. So this will be overturned, but it is going to be a spot penalty, and they'll put it first and goal on the Arizona 1-yard line.
Which is a good thing in a way, if you're thinking like a coach sometimes. Well, I'll never turn down a touchdown, but gives them a good chance to show their power game on the end zone.
Well, actually, I thought Streeter was open up early, and Palmer chose not to throw to him, and then he was forced to throw to him as he was losing his balance, falling to the ground. It just turned out to be a great throw, great catch, if it holds up. If not, they got the ball in the 1-yard line.
Now, he clearly did not catch the ball. He lost it going to the ground. This will be overturned. So while the replacement referee goes under the hood, Donovan Briggins, a great chance for you to get to the telephone or the computer. Go to Raiders.com or call 1-800-RAIDERS. A Raiders staff member is standing by at their Alameda offices right now to take your phone call on any ticket package you like. There's packages for every lifestyle out there, whether you can make every Raider home game this year or not. There's a ticket package waiting for you. Again, 1-800-RAIDERS is the phone number that opens up on Monday Night Football, September the 10th, against the San Diego Chargers. And the home schedule is particularly good this year, as the Raiders are going to play non-division games, Tom and Jim, against the AFC North and the NFC South. So right away in the first month of the year, the third week of the year, the Pittsburgh Steelers will be coming to town. All right, while they review this, we'll take a break, come back. It'll be first and goal Raiders on the Arizona 1-yard line. 7-0 zone on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
Donovan Briggins, the replacement referee for tonight's game. Here's the call.
After review, the ruling on the field is reversed. Incomplete pass. During the play, pass interference, defense number 23. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. First and goal, Oakland.
So basically, you get a redo on the pass interference. Originally, obviously, because they ruled that Streeter caught it, but you can see there that it came out. Oakland declined the penalty against the Cardinals for pass interference, but when the play is overturned, they can now accept the penalty, and it's first and goal at the 1.
And that was an excellent call. William Gay did indeed contact Streeter while the ball was in the air. A good call by the replacement official.
It's McFadden diving for the goal line, but short. Calais Campbell was there for Arizona. Campbell signing a big contract in the offseason after 8 sacks and 3 blocked field goals a year ago. Look at this play.
Yeah, Dan Williams as well got a little bit of penetration at the point of attack, and then Calais Campbell came down, honored his gap, got a hand on McFadden right there. That's what Ken Wisenhunt wants to see. Buckles and knuckles, baby.
He'll try McFadden again, and again he's short. This time Stewart Bradley battling for a starting position at inside linebacker. Dan Williams also in there again. Williams dropping weight in the offseason, much quicker on his feet now.
Yeah, Dan Williams is a guy that the Cardinals, of course, are counting on to step up big. But did you see Stewart Bradley shoot the backside gap and make that play? That's big time.
Third and goal from the 1. Play action, and Palmer throws it away. Higgins was in the backfield. The Cardinals were not fooled on play action, and the Raiders will bring on the field goal team on 4th down.
Well, you never like to see your defense let the other team drive down the field, but boy, did they pick it up on the goal line. That is a great job. You put the ball on the 1-yard line. The Raiders have 3 plays, and they don't get it in. That's going to make Coach Wisenhunt very happy.
Sebastian Janikowski, veteran, will come on for the short field goal. Remember, he missed the short one 2 years ago. It's longer than this. It cost the Raiders the game here. High snap. Janikowski bangs it through. But the Cardinals hold. Raiders had first and goal from the 1. And because of that Cards defense, they have to settle for 3.
Has 81 yards, 11 plays, 5:20 off the clock. There were some good throws. There were some good runs by Darren McFadden, but very frustrating to have a first and goal on the 1-yard line and settle for a 19-yard Janikowski field goal.
Yeah, and then also, it's a good thing that they, like I said earlier, they're on the end zone now. They got an idea of what they are on the end zone. Not one of those maybe should have been a go over the top. Take the ball and go over the top.
It's all part of the learning experience as Janikowski will kick away. This is A.J. Jefferson, and Janikowski very high and deep, about 8 yards deep, but Jefferson's coming out, and he gets it to a 10. He's hit by Miles Burris, and then it dropped at around the 13-yard line. A flag is down right at the spot of first contact, so we'll see what the flag is for. The Cardinals hold on the return. Mike Mitchell made the tackle eventually, a 23-yard kickoff return. Tommy Kelly says it's against the Cardinals. There's our referee, Donovan
During the
Briggins.
return, holding return team number 81, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That is Jim Dre, the former Stanford tight end, so they are guilty of a hold, and they're going to begin this drive inside the 10-yard line. Kevin Cobb came into this game with a quarterback rating in their first 2 games, Jim, of 0.00. I've never heard that before, but he played well on their first drive.
He did. He got the ball off accurately. Didn't get in any trouble.
1st and 10 for the Cardinals, starting on their own 5-yard line. Kevin Cobb wearing number 4 in his Cardinal red, the former Philadelphia Eagle. With a traded 4 inside handoff, Ryan Williams stumbles, stays up though, and crosses the 10, and he's out to around the 12-yard line. There was so much room there after the handoff. After he was tripped up by his old lineman, he still gathered his feet there.
Yeah, he did. I think the right guard was being shoved back, and he tripped and stumbled and still picked up a couple yards. Yeah.
There's Darren College, a 5-year Green Bay Packer, 76 starts there, now 2nd year Arizona Cardinal. Ryan Williams, 5 carries, 25 yards, plus the touchdown. 2nd and 4, Cardinals on the 11. Their number 1 draft pick, Michael Floyd from Notre Dame, is in wearing number 15. Cobb, a straight drop, pressured, back in the end zone, throws it away. That should be grounding. If it's in the end zone, it could be a safety. Kevin Cobb right on the edge of the goal line. That's got to be a grounding call, Tom. He did not get outside of the tackle box.
Absolutely. They're conferring now. They're asking the official if he was outside the tackle box, and he was not outside the tackle box.
And if he was in the end zone, it's a safety. And the Raiders get 2 points in the ball. Rolando McClain and Tommy Kelly are making those very points for the Raiders. Again, it's a replacement officiating crew with the NFL locking out the officials. So Donovan Briggins has got to sort this out. Is it 2 points for the Raiders or not? They've not made any call on the field time. That's what's so frustrating here. Let's see if he's outside of the tackle box. He got wide. He came back. Wow.
Yeah.
His entire body and the ball have got to be in the end zone. I don't think he was in the end zone, but he did ground the ball, didn't he?
Well, that ball, it should be intentional grounding. Yeah, that's
yes.
Right. Worst case scenario, and the ball would be on about the 1-yard line.
Yeah, less than that. It was just his heels were just on the front edge of that goal line.
Well, the grounding would be marked off from the line of scrimmage.
Right.
It would not be like a sack. Here's our referee.
The quarterback
finally
was outside the tackle box. However, the ball didn't get to the line of scrimmage.
So it is grounding.
Therefore, intentional grounding. Offense number 4. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul.
No, it's not.
Down. Third
it's
down.
not a spot foul. It's marked off from the line of scrimmage. In any event, was he in the end zone is the question.
No, he wasn't. I don't think he was.
Yeah, we just saw that he was not.
The ball was not in the end zone. His right foot was, but I don't think the ball was.
And he's got to be entirely in the end zone. You can't really tell from that angle. You have to have a camera right down the goal line. Now that is marched off. That is from the line of scrimmage. They're treating it like it's a sack, and that's not the way the mechanics of that play work. So anyway, it's 3rd down and 14? 3rd down and 14. Cobb from the end zone, pressured by Shaughnessy. They're going to sack him anyway and get the safety. Justice is served. The Raiders almost got it on the previous play, and they get it now. Tommy Kelly, a 2-pointer.
Tommy Kelly is really off to a start this preseason. I mean, he's been penetrating all along, and this is a pretty veteran team here. He just does a great job.
On Matt Shaughnessy from the outside.
Yeah,
I think he's the one who made that play.
So it'll be a free kick. The score is 7-5 Arizona. The Raiders will get the ball back on a free kick. This is the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
Network, and as you can see behind me, this is like a home game in Oakland. The crowd going crazy after the safety, Greg, and now the free kick. And there was a sense of urgency by defensive coordinator Tarver. He got the whole defense fired up. He expected more from them on that series, and they delivered for him. Back to you, Greg.
You know, we asked him last night, who was your best edge pass rusher, and he was kind of struggling to find one guy, but he did mention the power of Matt Shaughnessy, Jim, and that's where that play started. Here's the free kick by the punter, Dave Zastadil. Jacoby Ford will take it inside the 20, goes wide left, 25-30, big hole, and he's dropped it around the 39-yard line. Nice return there by Jacoby Ford on the free kick. A 21-yard return to give the Raiders a glorious field position. But Matt Shaughnessy's push from the outside forced Cobb to step up into Tommy Kelly.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. You know, It takes 4 men sometimes to rush that passer and make him step out of his lane, out of his pocket, and run into another defender, and that's exactly what happened.
Matt Shaughnessy missed the Raiders' final 13 games a year ago with a shoulder injury time. With Shaughnessy and Houston on the outside, the young guys with Seymour and Kelly inside, you have arguably the best front four in the NFL. First and 10 Raiders on their 39. Palmer throwing left. Catch made by Jacoby Ford across the 45 up to around the 47-yard line.
Yeah, that time going from a shotgun right off the start with McFadden out as one of the receivers in the slot on the right side. And just set up for a little short hit. Quick hitting pass. Get rid of the pass rush. Pick up some good yards.
And I'll tell you, Jacoby Ford, certainly after last week's start, is off to a tremendous start tonight's game.
Although he is limping off the field, which is not a good sign. His second year was derailed last year because of assortment of injuries. They run McFadden on 2nd and 1 straight ahead, and I'm not sure he got it. But what's wrong with Jacoby Ford, coach, is he had to limp his way over to the Raiders sideline.
Yeah, maybe we could find out from somebody down there, but hopefully it won't be the same injury that he had last year, but that's not a good sign.
Dr. King is attending to Jacoby Ford. These preseason games are obviously so meaningful to pick your 53, figure out your starters, but you got to stay healthy. You don't want to lose Jacoby Ford. Denarius Moore still out with a stubborn hamstring injury dating back to the final minicamp in mid-June. 3rd and 1. Raiders took a long time to snap that football. They delay a game, a pre-snap penalty here on one side. Let's see.
Timeout, Oakland.
Raiders called the timeout.
30-second timeout.
Yeah, I think the coach saw that they were going to run out of time and be called for a penalty, and you certainly don't want to give up the opportunity to make a first down.
Let's take a look at Jacoby Ford on the TV side of our simulcast, making the catch, going for the sideline. He was rolled over on it, and it's the way he landed, it looked like, on that leg that caused the injury, Jim. Let's check in with JT downstairs on what's wrong with Jacoby. JT?
Well, Greg, he tried to walk it off there. It looked like his ankle was tender. Doctors are looking at him right now. We'll have more for you in a minute, but doesn't look like there's that much cause for concern because he did try to walk it off, and he's still doing it on the far end of the bench, talking to Duke doctors now. When we find out more, we'll get back to you.
You know, last year he broke a hand in training camp. He strained a hamstring, coach, in the season opener. He had a foot injury in week 10. He had the electrifying rookie season, 3 kickoff returns for scores. That one home game against Kansas City, he won almost single-handedly. You got to keep this guy healthy.
Yeah, you sure do. Absolutely.
3rd down and 1 after the Raider timeout. Offset out of the left now. Owen Schmidt, the fullback, leading McFadden. First down Raiders as he powers right up against midfield and into Arizona territory. Owen Schmidt taking over as the lead blocking fullback, the former West Virginia Mountaineer. And with Philadelphia the last couple of years, before that a Seattle Seahawk, and he's a very good lead blocker, Tom. Much better lead blocker than Marcel Reese.
Yeah, the coaches seem to be very happy with his lead blocking. He's low at 250 pounds, 6'2", so he's built like a fullback, very square.
First and 10 Raiders on the Arizona 48-yard line with 2:50 to play in the opening quarter. Arizona leads 7-5 after a Raider safety. Quick throw out right. Catch made by McFadden. Makes one down, missed 40, 35, and rolls down to the 31-yard line. He's so good, Jim, when you turn and hand it to him, but he's even better when you flip it out to him in space. 17 yards for DMC.
And how exciting is that guy? As soon as he catches the ball, he accelerates. He's gone.
Yeah, he doesn't waste any time, does he? Getting up the field, he is one of the dark shirts tried to get him with an arm, and he ran right through that arm.
JT asked Greg Knapp, the Raider offensive coordinator, about Darren McFadden as a pass catcher, and he says he's the best he's ever seen at the running back position. They will flex him out wide and use him as a wide receiver a lot. Mike Goodson is in, making his Raider debut, number 25. He's a classic zone runner, Tom, and that time he started left, saw an opening, and he came back middle. Not real well blocked, but he picked up a couple there.
But that's a read. That's what you read. You read the outside block. If it's a wide stretch, you read the outside block. If it's clogged up, then you take it right up the middle, and that's usually where the soft spot is.
Mike Goodson, a 4th-round draft pick of the Carolina Panthers out of Texas A&M back in 2009. He was stuck behind a couple of great backs in Charlotte, D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart. 2 years ago, he had a chance to play, and then he had 3 straight 100-yard games. The first trade Reggie McKenzie made was to get Mike Goodson for Bruce Campbell. Dump off to Goodson left side, and he's inside the Arizona 25, close to a first down. down to around the 22-yard line. He too, Jim, is a very good pass catcher out of the backfield.
Yeah, according to Greg Knapp, you're right. He catches the ball very well. Great offseason addition to the Raiders, strengthening that running back position. But he catches the ball extremely well as well.
Raiders got 2 new corners in the offseason. Ron Bartell of St. Louis played just a game a year ago with a broken neck, and Mike Bricell, the zone blocking guard from Houston, they got as well. Mike Goodson, Philip Wheeler is going to be a starting linebacker. Dave Tollefson, a 2-time champion in New York, and Matt Leinart and Owen Schmidt. Wide open throw to McFadden. Did he catch it or no? No. Out of bounds down the left sideline. Palmer to Darren McFadden. He got behind everybody, and the throw was to the outside shoulder. That is subject to review. Did Darren get both feet in the field of play?
Yeah, Darren just beat somebody badly that time, and he didn't get both feet in, unfortunately. One was, I think his left foot hit the chalk mark.
Pretty close, though, Jim.
But that was on Carson.
One.
Let's count him.
That's 2. Looks like 2.
2. Is that toe out of bounds? Do you want to review that?
1, 2.
You're catching 2.
Close.
Well, they're going for 1, 2, 3. They're going for a field goal here. 41-yarder. They're not going to review it. Good snap by Kondo. Kings has it down, and Pro Football's best kicker a year ago. Waited so long for Sebastian to make Honolulu, and he did. He makes the field goal from 41, and the Raiders have the very odd lead of 8-7 here.
Yeah, 8-7.
Pair of 3s and a 2, Jim.
Yeah,
and you're right. It is a strange lead, but also, there was a little nudge by one of the receivers to allow McFadden to get outside almost, uncovered.
That's something that the Raiders are going to do. Darren McFadden out of the backfield. You did it a lot with Marcus Allen, Coach. His ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. He gets singled up like this. This should have been a touchdown.
Yeah, it should have been if that ball had been thrown a little better. That was just thrown too far to the outside. The ball took him out of bounds. And he ran into just a little bump. They call that a bump, where you it's not illegal unless you really get caught.
It looks like,
unless you get caught. It's pretty illegal unless you get caught.
That left foot was probably on the sideline.
Could be. Maybe that's why that's a report that Dennis Allen got, so that's why he did not challenge it.
Well, I like to see that. I like to see McFadden's got the speed to swing him outside on a swing route or a flat up route or that route right there, which is called a rub. He can do that stuff, and he'll catch the ball for you down the field.
How about the bubble screen they ran for him last Monday night against the Cowboys? Just flexed him out like a wide receiver, one-on-one with a linebacker. Got a great block from Jacoby Ford on that play. Jacoby's still hobbling over on the sideline. There's Janikowski's kickoff. He can touch back anytime he wants here in the desert. He could hit this to Mesa if he wants, and that'll be a touchback. So let's check out. Hopefully, Jacoby Ford's going to make opening night against the San Diego Chargers on September the 10th. One more preseason to go, a game to go at home, the all-important third one coming up a week from tomorrow against Matt Stafford, Calvin Johnson, and the Lions. And then San Diego to open. The Raiders go to Miami. Pittsburgh will be in week 3. You got Jacksonville coming in. 1-800-RAIDERS to get your Raider tickets as we speak. The Raiders have a office personnel member waiting to take your phone call right now. Raider staff was waiting to talk any kind of ticket package you want, and you want a season ticket package. Be a part of all the games. We understand, though, that it is tough to make them all, but a lot of good Sundays and Mondays to be out at the O.Co Coliseum. 1-800-RAIDERS or Raiders.com. 8-7 Raiders, handoff on the delay, straight ahead. Kevin Cobb giving it to Alfonso Smith, who is now in as the featured back. They're not going to run Beanie Wells tonight.
But look at Giordano in the backfield making the tackle. It's quite a job for a safety to be at the line of scrimmage making a tackle.
Matt Giordano led the Raiders in receptions a year ago, as that was the final play of the opening quarter. Raiders on a pair of Janikowski field goals and a two-pointer by Tommy Kelly have a lead of 8-7. The alarming thing is Jacoby Ford is making his way into the tunnel as they're going to get attended to on that bad foot. So we'll get your report on that. At the end of 15 minutes of play, Raiders 8, Cardinals 7. This is the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Jacoby Ford walking back to the Raider dressing room. He had a foot injury a year ago, suffered in week 10. He only played 8 games a year ago, so Dennis Allen, already minus Denarius Moore, does not want to lose Jacoby Ford and a very young wide receiving core.
Yeah, the way he got hit, it looked like he got hit from the side on his right ankle, and that's a lot different than last year when he hurt the foot. The foot was kind of squashed.
With 1 quarter down, it's time for our Geico 15-minute review. It's easy to save 15% or more on car insurance with Geico. Go to geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. The only hard part, figuring out which is easier. Where's Kevin Cobb going? Throwing to his fullback, Anthony Sherman. Well defended there by Philip Wheeler. As the Raiders in that opening quarter took the game over after that nice drive by Arizona to open the game. And the Raiders were able to have a couple of good drives and a safety in that opening quarter.
Not much time to throw there for Cobb. He was flushed out of the pocket and had to throw to the left side, find the secondary or third guy to throw to on the move.
Second down and 8, Arizona on their 22. Kevin Cobb, they gave up a second-round pick and cornerback Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie to get him, and they gave him a huge contract. There's pressure from Lamar Houston. He got blasted from everybody. Both sides, and a frontal shot from Philip Wheeler. Will he get up from that? They blitzed Tyvon Branch and Wheeler, and Shaughnessy and Lamar Houston hit him from each side, Jim. Wow, did he get blasted.
And you talk about pressure. I mean, there's 3 guys coming, collapsing that pocket, getting to the quarterback, not giving him a chance to throw the ball at all. That's what you call a good pass rush defense right there.
Talk about meeting at the quarterback time. Yeah. They all had him. Wow.
Well, unusual, too, because Wheeler was coming off the right edge, and the guy that was supposed to block him was Todd Heap. And Todd Heap is a pretty good football player. He just rushed him.
Raiders go for the block, and they knock Zastudil down. No flag, though. Here's the punt. Will roll down. Brian McCann stayed away from it. Raiders got fortunate. The flag did not come in there as Mike Mitchell went for a block right in the middle. But what a hit. Tyvon Branch, a blitz. Philip Wheeler, a blitz. Shaughnessy, Lamar Houston, they all meet at number 4, and they blow up Kevin Cobb on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
8-7, and as Tommy Kelly came running off the field, he looked towards his defense and said, "That boy's scared," referring to Kevin Cobb. I'll tell you, Greg, Tommy Kelly, what a difference he makes. He is a leader on this sideline, along with Seymour, the leader of that defense. Back to you.
Well, they already sacked him in the end zone for a safety, JT, and he does have a hard time recognizing the heat, but my goodness, no one would have gotten away from that white-shirted avalanche. The Raiders were all over him. Carson Palmer continues a quarterback from the Raider 40, straight drop and a lob left into the seam route, intercepted by Kerry Rhodes. He overthrew Gordon midfield. Rhodes to the Raider 40. He's got blockers. He's down the sideline. He may score. 20-10. Streeter from behind will save the touchdown on the Arizona 4-yard line. Kerry Rhodes, the former Jet, with a 64-yard interception return, Tom, as Carson overthrew the seam route to tight end Richard Gordon.
Yeah, and once again, Carson, unfortunately, that ball should not have been thrown. There was not enough room. There was not enough clearance. You can't force those things in, and you get in trouble when that happens. Go elsewhere. That's the second week in a row you've done something like that.
And Richard Gordon, Jim, is a big physical blocking tight end. If you throw that ball to Osbury, I could see it, but Gordon is not going to go up in the crowd and pull that one away.
Well, it had to be a perfect pass, and he was well covered both from behind and with a safety over the top. Very difficult throw.
Carson threw one last week to Gerald Sensabaugh of the Cowboys. Now he throws one to Kerry Rhodes, their safety of Arizona. Arizona first and goal on the Raider 5-yard line. Alfonso Smith, the lone back. They give it to him straight ahead. He comes back left. He's churning, and he'll push the pile laterally, but not downhill. And he's dropped on the 4-yard line. And Beanie Wells, just activated off the PUP list with a knee injury, will not play tonight. LaRod Stevens Howling is also out with a groin injury. They ran Ryan Williams. All they're going to run him, so we'll see a lot of Alfonso Smith here the remainder of the game. Good goal line defensive test here for the Raiders. Second and goal, Arizona on the Raider 3-yard line. Larry Fitzgerald is in. He's out wide left, a great fade runner. Cobb looking right, and now he's got a flag comes down. Cobb throws for his life. It's caught by a lineman who's ineligible. Another flag comes down, What's the first flag for, though?
It was tackling one of the rushers. I couldn't see which one exactly, but he literally got tackled and pulled to the ground.
So these will both be against Arizona. A hold, and then the ineligible is the lineman. Why do they catch the ball there, Tom? They should just knock the ball down. They know they're not eligible.
It's just a reflex. Somebody forgot to tell them.
How long will it take these replacement officials to get this complicated play sorted out? You got a feel for these guys against Donovan Briggins, our referee tonight. There's a lockout of the NFL's officials, and none of these officials that are working preseason games are from D1. They're all lower levels of college football. And a lot of pressure on them. And they got to sort this out. They're talking to Dennis Allen on which play he wants to accept. Is the ineligible receiver a loss of down penalty, Tom?
I think so.
I think that's the one you take, right? You decline the hold and take the loss of down penalty.
Whichever one is the loss of down plus the yardage, yeah.
And it was Desmond Bryant who was the one who was tackled by the offensive lineman there.
Yeah, he comes in. He's a good rotation tackle, Jim, right behind Richard Seymour and Tommy Kelly. Here's Donovan Briggins. He's finally got it sorted out.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both against the offense. Illegal touching of a pass by an ineligible player. Offense. Penalty is declined. Holding. Offense number 68. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
They declined them both, which is the curious part.
Well, they have a sack, I think, so they don't get an extra play.
No, he threw it to the lineman. No, it was not sacked.
No, they wanted. I guess they wanted to go 3rd down and long.
Well, it's only 3rd and 3.
Well,
they were his 3rd and goal, wasn't it? It was 2nd and goal. Now it'd be third and goal. But it's back on the. They put it back on the 14-yard line. They called that a sack.
I don't know what they called it.
3rd down and 14. 3rd and goal from the 14. Kevin Cobb back. He's going to get sacked again. No, he got away with it. Throws it out right. And it's caught right up against the sideline. But the receiver was out of bounds, so no catch there. Arizona offense at times looks just disorganized, but the Raider defensive front all over them. Javaris James, Edgerrin James' cousin, made the catch as Kevin Cobb is just getting blown up by the Raider front. That's Dave Tollefson, the 2-time Super Bowl winner with the New York Giants, who's a Raider again.
You know, and it's hard for any quarterback to perform under these conditions, pressure time after time. And he's got to have a little bit more help up front. Offensive linemen have to make a pocket for him, let him step up, and that's just not the case for Kevin Cobb right now.
All right, so the previous play is Jay Feely comes in for the field goal attempt here from 32, and Feely will give Arizona the lead back. The lineman did catch the ball, so they're allowing that happen, and they take the penalty on that, and they decline both penalties.
I'm confused too.
Arizona 10, Raiders 8 on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. I've never seen that before. Took over the Raiders football operations department on January the 10th. He hired Dennis Allen 20 days later. Tom, a guy that you drafted back in 1985, was a linebacker with the LA Raiders for 4 years, and now the first man in 50 years to run the football operations department of the Raiders, with the exception of Al Davis for 5 decades.
Yeah, it seems to be going pretty well. Everybody seems to be very pleased with what he's done. There's a little different look.
Short kickoff by Jay Feely, picked up by Lanye Miller, who was the up man in front of Brian McCann. And the good news is they returned it beyond the 20-yard line. Special teams has not been strong. 17-yard return by Lanye Miller, who we'll see a lot later in the game. Carson Palmer will continue at quarterback, Tom. He's played really well this preseason, with the exception of a couple of deep balls that have been intercepted trying to go down the field, and the free safety picked him twice.
Yeah, and that's just something that has to be cleared up. Just don't try to make something happen that's not there when there's too many opposite color jerseys.
Matt Leiter will quarterback the Raiders in the second half. Here's Mike Goodson coming wide left, cuts back, and not a lot of room to go. Dan Williams, who was down to 314 pounds, the lightest he has been in his 3 years in Arizona after being a round 1 pick out of Tennessee. And he's the key to the whole defense. If he plays well, flanked by Dockett and Calais Campbell with the young linebackers behind him, Jim and Adrian Wilson, this defense can be dominant if 92 plays.
Yeah, they were pretty good last year statistically, way ahead of the Raiders defense as far as statistics go, but still 8-8.
2nd and 9 for Carson Palmer. Handoff to Mike Goodson coming wide. He fumbled the ball. It's on the ground. And they're diving all over it. Mike Goodson had that ball popped straight up in the air upon first contact. There was not a lot of room to go. And they are uncovering now at around the Raider 24-yard line. Patrick Peterson saying it's Arizona's ball. There was a red shirt there first. Now the Raiders are saying they got it back. I think the Raiders may have kept it. Still no verdict as the scrum continues there at the bottom. Stuart Bradley fighting for Arizona. Maybe Arizona's got it after all. They come away with it. Stuart Bradley has the football. The officials have not made any motion yet. Whose ball is it?
Correction on the play. Number 55 of the Cardinals recovered the ball. First down, Arizona.
Not sure what he corrected. There was a fumble by Mike Goodson. He's saying that Stuart Bradley, the inside backer, recovered. As Goodson, Tom, had that ball poked out and it went straight up in the air.
Yeah, not carried the ball very well. I mean, he had it too loose and that ball was poked right out, and not a bad sign. Not a bad sign for the Raiders. It's very turnovers kill you.
Darrell Washington, the inside linebacker, a young star, knocked that ball away. Rod Streeter tried to get it back. He was fighting with the big linebacker Stuart Bradley, but Goodson fumbles the ball away. For the Raiders, too many turnovers here and mistakes in this first half. 11:46 to play, down 10-8. John Skelton is now in a quarterback, and he throws, and that ball is caught inside the Raider 15-yard line. It is caught there by the veteran Todd Heap, the former Baltimore Raven. So Skelton takes over quarterback Jim after Kevin Cobb. John Skelton, who came in off the bench last year when Cobb got hurt and played very well. They went 5-2 with him as the starter.
Yeah, they did, and he seems to have a little bit more calmness out there about him. He does move the ball around a lot. Statistically, they're almost the same as far as touchdowns, interceptions.
There's Thomas Clayton now in the running back, running wide. And he is dropped on the 1st and 10 for no gain. John Skelton, Tom, is a big guy, 6'6", nearly 250 pounds, the third-year quarterback out of Fordham.
I didn't even know they played football at Fordham and still.
You didn't know that?
7 blocks of granite or something like that.
You got to get to New York more. This guy established all the records when he was there. Threw for over 9,000 yards senior year, almost 4,000 yards. Second down and 10, Arizona on the Raider 11-yard line. Skelton back, looking left, throwing left. It is caught by Rod Hausler, the tight end, inside the Raider 5 and down to around the 3-yard line. He was covered there and tackled there by cornerback Shawntae Spencer. Going to be third down at about a foot, the quarterback says.
Yeah, they're running a little bunch combinations with 3 receivers on one side. A little one hooking up, one going deep, and one going across, and he did a nice job of picking out the one that was open.
And they seem to be giving him a little bit better protection than they were giving Cobb a little earlier. Both those passes, he had time to throw, find his receiver, get the ball to him, and he delivered 2 accurate throws.
Is that Larry Fitzgerald who's hurt? No, pardon me. It's Levi Brown that I saw 11 in that pile. Levi Brown, the left tackle, is hurt. So Cobb, the quarterback, going out to check on the left tackle. It will be third down at about a foot. Arizona, when we come back, 10 minutes to go in the half. Cardinals 10, Raiders 8 on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Phoenix Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, the home of the Cardinals since 2006. They have a 3rd and 2 on the Raider 3. The quarterback thought it was 3rd and a foot, but the spot shows 3rd and 2. They can make a first down without a touchdown. They have brought Larry Fitzgerald back in the game. He is tight left, watched by Ron Bartell. Skelton play action, wide open, fullback, touchdown. Nobody covered the fullback in the flat, and Anthony Sherman has a walk-in touchdown. So after Mike Goodson's fumble, Jason Tarver's defense is backed up on their own 23-yard line, and they blew a coverage, coach, on the goal line there.
Yeah, that was a blown coverage for sure. I'm not sure. I think he really got picked. I think the linebacker was that.
It's Rolando McClain.
Rolando, he got picked, and not much of an effort in trying to fight through the pick, but that was his guy, and he was out of position.
Well designed and executed. They got done what they needed to get done.
Sure did.
So the Raiders had just taken the game over with their front four dominating the game, and then an interception throw by Carson Palmer and a fumble by Mike Goodson. And Arizona cashes in with a couple of scores, and they have the lead back at 16-8. Here's the PAT by Jay Feely to make it 17-8 Arizona. That was a short drive, 4 plays, just 23 yards. John Skelton came in with that short field, hit all 3 of his throws for 23 yards. The entire drive was him throwing, and the touchdown. Dennis Allen, of course, Tom, the first defensive-oriented coach, the former defensive coordinator of the Denver Broncos a year ago, to coach the Raiders since 1969. And if you can get the Raider defense to improve from where they were last year, this team should be able to challenge for the AFC West.
Well, the first team defense, the Cardinals could not handle that first team defensive line in front 7. And the Raider offense is the one to put the Cardinals in position to score twice. So that's not a good thing to keep putting your defense back in the field. So it's a team effort, and that's the bad news. The good news is the Raiders were able to move the ball, just couldn't get it in the end zone. That's one thing that I'd like to see. I'd like to see them get a touchdown or 2.
And here's the coaching point. The new defensive coordinator is over talking to the young middle linebacker, Rolando McClain, Jim, who apparently lost the fullback in the flat on the goal line, and he's coaching him up right now.
Oh, yeah, you got to point out what he did wrong, what he can do better, how to avoid that kind of play the next time it comes up. But I thought the fullback did a good job. He pretended like he was going to block initially, and then just went out in the flat. And it was a semi-kick play. Rolando really couldn't get to him. I don't know if any other linebacker could have either.
9:55 to go in the half. Jay Feely, a high kick. Ryan McCandy coming out. Lonnie Miller says no. 8 yards deep, and a very high loft on that kick by Jay Feely with a kickoff line move to the 35 a year ago. And you play inside this dome stadium, even though they turn up the air conditioning. They get a lot of touchbacks in this stadium. So Carson Palmer in the offense has to block out the noise here, Tom, and get going again. They had the interception, the fumble. They had finally gotten some good rhythm on offense, and a couple of turnovers have given the game back to Arizona right now.
Well, turnovers will kill anything. They'll kill drives just like a penalty will, but a turnover is just devastating because it gives the other team the ball and gets your defense right immediately back on the field.
Carson Palmer is scheduled to play the entire first half. He checks into a true eye. Owen Schmidt ahead of Mike Goodson. They run the outside zone right. He breaks one tackle, comes middle, and picks up only a yard or so. You can see the Arizona defense is fast flowing. They know the Raider outside zone scheme, and they're getting to the landmarks, Jim, and forcing them back where help is waiting.
Yeah, and the one thing that Tom pointed out earlier, getting penetration. They're destroying the play even before it can get going. You know, that's got to be corrected.
Yeah, as soon as those linebackers see the stretch, they just hit their hole. They hit the hole, either the backside or the front side, but they're heading for a hole. That puts immediate pressure on the offensive scheme.
Brandon Williams made that last tackle. It was Quentin Groves, number 54, that forced it back inside, the former Raider. Carson Palmer throwing out left to Rod Streeter. And he is tackled shy of the first down on the 26-yard line by the rookie round 3 out of Oklahoma, the cornerback Jamel Fleming. With the injury to Denarius Moore, and that hamstring is lingering now. He's not a certainty for opening night. And this first half injury, the foot injury to Jacoby Ford, it is quite possible that Rod Streeter is your opening night starter, wide receiver, Tom, opposite Darius Hayward-Bay.
Yeah, that's not, you know, with all due respect to Rod, that's not good news.
He has played well. He is an undrafted rookie. Will he start on opening night? Here comes a blitz in the A-gap from Stuart Bradley. And a safety. Palmer will throw, and he throws behind Streeter as he got pressured there from Rashad Johnson. They blitzed the middle backer, Stuart Bradley, and brought the deep safety Johnson right behind him, and Palmer had to run for his life to avoid the sack.
Yeah, too many guys coming up the middle, not enough guys to block them. Nobody to block the safety on that one. Johnson, as he came right up to shoot untouched.
Well, the Raider offense that was humming along now started slowly at 3 and out. Then they had rhythm with Darren McFadden in there. Without Darren McFadden, this offense certainly is lacking their most explosive player. Here's the punt. It's blocked. Marquette King's punt got blocked right out of his hand, and it may be a scoop and a score. A block punt right off his foot there. Justin Bethel, a special team star from Presbyterian. That's why he was drafted this year. A great special teams player. He blocked that right off of Marquette King's foot.
Yeah, it came from the left side of the punt team. came inside, and somebody let him go. I mean, somebody should have been blocking him and forcing him up the field. He came in underneath the blocker and got it right off the foot. Wow.
Marquette King was a little slow during camp, Jimmy, at a two-step approach, but he's quickened it up to a step and a half. That was not his fault. They just did not block the A-gap at all, and that was blocked right off his foot again. The new Raiders special teams coordinator, Steve Hoffman, is not happy. They let a long punt return by Patrick Peterson go, and now a block punt for a score, and the Raiders are down 23-8. There's the PAT by Jay Feely. And Arizona has a 24-8 lead now. This early second quarter not going well for the Raiders at all. 8:20 to play in the half. 24-8 Arizona on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
Network, the Raiders trail Arizona 24-8. Great ticket packages are available. There's a package for every lifestyle, whether you can make every home game or not. There's a great ticket package for you by calling 1-800-RAIDERS. Raiders staff will be in the office throughout this live telecast at 1-800-RAIDERS. The home schedule kicks off, and it's a big one. Monday Night Football against the Chargers. Then the Pittsburgh Steelers come to town. You can learn about tickets by calling 1-800-RAIDERS or visiting Raiders.com. Greg?
All right, Jay Feely will kick off to Brian McCann. Another high one, and McCann will take it about 5 yards deep. He's coming out, though, going to angle right. 10, 15, flag down, 20. McCann tripped up and dropped by A.J. Jefferson across the 30. 2 flags come down. Probably both illegal blocking on some form against the Raiders here after a 37-yard return. When you make your plans to come to the O.co Coliseum, leave yourself a little extra time. As all fans...
During the return,
there's the call
holding
by
return team number 39. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
John Curtis Taylor. That'll push the Raider drive start back. But leave time to come in. It's a requirement of the entire league. All 31 stadiums, of course, 2 teams sharing one in New Jersey, the Jets and Giants. All teams are required to screen their fans for metal before entering the stadium. It's not just the Raiders at all. It's a league-wide directive. In fact, the new stadium operator of the O.co Coliseum, AEG, is invested in the Raider fans, and they purchased the walk-through metal detectors for every single entry point. That'll expedite the process, but do allow yourself more time, as you'll need it to get inside the stadium. You don't want to miss a minute of Raider football. There's a quick slant to Rod Streeter. Carson Palmer to Streeter, and he has the catch out to around the 15-yard line.
You know, and Greg Knapp spoke very highly of Streeter last night. He's given him a lot more than they anticipated. Signed as a free agent, catching everything that's thrown his way.
Kind of fell through the cracks, Tom. Undrafted rookie. At Temple, they ran the ball almost every play. He only had 19 receptions a year ago, but he had 400 yards receiving, so over 20 yards a catch is very good. They fumble the ball here. The ball's on the field, rolling around here. I believe the whistle blew it dead before. You heard the whistle come in later, and that ball was on the ground for a while. Nick Eason picked it up and ran it back. Of course, this is subject to review if the Raider ball carrier, I believe it was Mike Goodson, was down or not.
The ruling is the ruling is that
Donovan Briggins is making sure his microphone works.
the ruling on the field is the player was down by contact.
And it is subject to review, but Arizona will not do that apparently. Raiders have got to get Mike Goodson going, Tom. He's been stacked up in the offensive backfield.
Yeah, once again, he got penetration. He's trying to cut it back, but there was a linebacker right in the hole. Nowhere to run.
Third down. Palmer looking right, throwing behind Streeter, a juggling catch. But he may have lost yards on that play back to the 16-yard line. He had to get up to the 18 for a first down. The throw was behind him on the shallow cross. Streeter showing great hands to make the catch, but I don't think he has the first down.
That doesn't look that way.
Great catch.
Yeah, made a good grab, but the ball was behind him, so he was not able to pick up the first down. But it looks like they gave it. I guess he did get it.
They gave him the first down on that? Ask no questions. Snap the football.
Yeah, well, we're over here in the corner of the end zone, so it's hard for us to see that far.
First down Raiders on the 17-yard line. It was 3rd down and 1. They didn't need much. Palmer straight drop, looking left, throwing left. Good catch by Rod Streeter. That was outside of his body. He had a lunge back towards the middle. This guy has strong hands, and he is a hands catcher, Tom. Not allowing the ball to get into his body. He goes out and plucks it.
Yeah, this is the Rod Streeter show. I mean, the same thing last week. It made a bunch of catches last week. But they got to spread her out. They got to find somebody else. So without Jacoby Ford in the ball game and Denarius Moore still on the injured list, somebody else has to step up.
And somebody else, maybe Eddie McGee, who was back after missing last week's game and about 8 practices with a hamstring strain. Palmer handoff. Mike Goodson got tripped up by Palmer himself. Again, they have not worked much together as Mike Goodson was involved in a very scary incident on the practice field in Napa on August the 7th. He took a hit by linebacker Philip Wheeler. Had to be taken off the field and into an ambulance. Spent some time in the hospital, and he's not had a lot of reps with Palmer. Looked like the quarterback tripped him up after the handoff, Jim.
Yeah, not working together. Sometimes in the actual game, things are sped up. The timing's not very good right now between the two.
Lost a yard there. Goodson 6 carries for just 7 yards. Play action to Goodson. Palmer pressured. Palmer shove it out to Goodson. And he got hit, and he lost the ball. He fumbled the ball. The Cardinals recover. They fumbled it back. It's football follies here, but the Raiders, I think, got the ball back. As he lost the ball to the linebacker Clark Hagans, and then he lost the ball, and that would be a Raider first down.
Yes, it would.
That would be a change of possession, and the Raiders would get the ball back, and it'd be a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, what's not a good sign, though, is the fact that Goodson is having trouble holding on to the ball. This was an improvised play, little shovel to him in desperation, but he's having trouble holding on to the ball, and I think he got a little banged up that time.
He got popped by Reggie Walker, and Rod King, the Raider head trainer, came out of the field to check on him. Walker popped the ball out of the arms of Goodson right to the linebacker, and it was Clark Hagans who ran with it, and then he fumbled it away. The one negative on Mike Goodson, he had a good run in Carolina when asked, was he was a fumbler. He fumbled the ball a lot there.
And you wonder if it's any lingering effects from that concussion that he suffered about 10 days ago. You never know.
Well, he is in pain. He's wincing as he's over on the Raider sideline. He was taken to the hospital off the practice field after that scary incident on April the 7th, Tom. And the guy that was waiting for him in the hospital when he got back from the MRI exam, the head coach, Dennis Allen. And that meant a lot to him. Here's Carson Palmer on a first down, throwing out left, catch Marcel Reese, fullback, first down, and he's bumped out at midfield. Pro football's most athletic fullback. A flag is down, though, back in the offensive backfield.
Not a good place for flags.
Well, you want to get Reese isolated one-on-one with a linebacker. He ran right by Reggie Walker, but it's coming back. The penalty is against the Raiders. Just a lot of mistakes here.
Yeah, it's a pretty sloppy first half by the Raiders, and turnovers and things of that nature. And then obviously the injury to Jacoby Ford did not set the mode very well. And
the referee Donovan Briggins gave us the call, but either he didn't turn his mic on or it malfunctioned. In any event, we didn't hear it. But it was a hold on the Raiders of some kind. So it's first down and 20. Raiders back on their 28. There's Palmer, inside handoff to Lanye Miller, who is in for Mike Goodson. He picks up about 3. Lanye carried the ball extensively on Monday night against the Cowboys. 15 carries for 39 yards. Keep in mind, the Raiders just played on Monday night. This is Friday night, Tom. A very quick turnaround to come back and play a game again.
Yeah, very quick. No time for much of anything, but to try to rest your bodies and walk through a few things. But there's no real game plan because you don't have time to game plan. It's just too early in the year to game plan anything anymore. It's got to be just basic plays.
They looked at a little Arizona film yesterday, but basically just go out and play. Left flat, big hit on Darius Hayward-Bay. Flag will come in. That'll be a flag. He's saying I led with my shoulder, the young cornerback Jamel Fleming, but he's going to get called for a personal foul for the violent hit on Darius Hayward-Bay. That'll give the Raiders 15 yards and a first down.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness defense, number 29. 15-yard penalty being enforced from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
A little crossing route to Hayward Bay. He got hung up, and then as he caught the ball, even though it was a shoulder, he hit him too high. He went around the helmet, and that's the reason it was flagged.
Yeah, you can't go to the helmet. I guess it was the forearm to the helmet or the helmet to helmet. I'm not sure. We only saw one replay on it. Whatever, it was a 15-yard penalty, yeah.
57 yards. The Raiders only 2 penalties for 17 yards. They only had 5 in the season opener for just 37 yards on Monday. Palmer looking left, throwing left. He throws it short to Darius Hayward Bay in a simple outcut. There's Hayward Bay, Jim, was open, and I don't think Palmer had that much pressure. He just hopped that one there.
They did. They short-armed it, so to speak. Didn't get enough on the ball to get it to Hayward Bay. Protection was pretty good. He had the time to do it. Palmer's struggling a little bit himself out there.
And Palmer will play the first half, and that'll be it. Carson 10 for 15 for 91 yards. Did throw the one interception to Kerry Rhodes. Matt Leinart will take over in the second half. 2nd and 10 Raiders. There's a blitz. They're bringing 2 in the A gap. A linebacker and a safety. A quick draw to Miller. If he can pop it, he'll go. And he breaks one tackle but can't get wide. Good recognition there by the quarterback, seeing all that A pressure coming, A gap pressure. He went to an outside run trying to pop the back.
One thing about a blitz, they're bringing enough people, and you can break that initial line of scrimmage. There's nobody back there to stop you, and that time they were about one tackle away from making it a big play.
Oakland Raiders football, and this broadcast of the NFL is brought to you by Safe Light Auto Glass from University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Greg Papaton, FLORES, and Jim Plunkett. Carson Palmer and the Raiders are down 24-8, facing a 3rd and 5 on their own 47-yard line. Palmer, time, throws, it is caught. And rolling and tackled, I think, shy of the first down is Rod Streeter. That's rookie on rookie. Jamel Fleming, their round 3 pick out of Oklahoma, made a nice tackle there on Rod Streeter.
It's going to be short of a first down. It's going to be interesting to see whether the coach wants to go for it or not.
But good recognition by Streeter. He noticed it was man-to-man. He was able to run away from him. Didn't hook it up or anything. Just took off across the field. Made a good catch.
I think they're going to ask for a measurement here with 2:26 to go, or a timeout has been called.
I think they threw the flag for a challenge.
They're going to challenge the spot here. You can challenge the spot of the football as it relates to first down or not. Another bad sign. That's Mike Goodson making his way up the tunnel back to the Raider locker rooms. The Raiders have lost 2 offensive players in this first half. Jacoby Ford to a foot injury. And now Mike Goodson is going to make his way off the field as well. And this, if they do change the spot here and make it a first down, the Raiders would get a first down and not have to worry about going forward on 4th down. Let's take a look at the Raiders draft class this past year. Again, remember, they did not have a first-round pick. They gave that up to get Carson Palmer, nor did they have a round 2 draft pick. But they did take Tony Bergstrom with the first overall pick they had, Tom, in the 3rd round, making him a guard after being a tackle. And you were right in the draft room this year with Reggie McKenzie.
Yeah, it was an interesting draft. I wanted to see what it was like without Al Davis being around and how they changed it. They had a new draft room that they built, and it was the atmosphere was a lot different. Reggie conducted it a little different, his style, along with the new coach. And besides that, there was not a lot of action. Day 1 was no action, and then they got the supplemental 3rd round is when they took Bergstrom.
Yeah, and Palmer they got for their first-round pick, and the second-round pick they got Joe Barksdale and Tywan Jones. They drafted Terrell Pryor, giving up the 3rd-round pick in the supplemental draft. And Jason Campbell was a 4th-round pick, and they got Aaron Curry giving up a 7th-rounder. Jerron Kreiner was a 5th-round pick out of the University of Arizona, nearby Tucson. Probably the greatest change in philosophy, Tom, would be the drafting of Kreiner, a guy that ran a 4.68 at his pro day. He would not have been drafted by Al Davis.
No, he wouldn't have. And by his own admission, he said, "I'm not a burner, but I know how to get open, and I'm a big, rangy guy."
After review, the ruling on the field is reversed. The runner forward progress is at the 41-yard line. Oakland 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Oakland is not charged with a timeout.
So a good challenge there by Dennis Allen, and that's the one thing he's going to have to learn, the game management of it, Jim, and he did it very well here on the challenge.
Yeah, and as I watched it from up here, I thought that Streeter crossed the yard marker enough for the first down. Plus, it happened on the Raiders sideline, so the Dennis Allen got a good look at it.
So they spotted on the 41-yard line. Rod Streeter battling with the rookie Fleming picks up the first down. Let's see how the Raiders handle this situation, Coach. You got 2:26 to play in the half. The Raiders have 2 timeouts remaining. They're on the plus side of the field. They're in Arizona territory on the Arizona 41-yard line. So plenty of time. Lonnie Miller is the lone back. Slot formation right. Darius Hayward-Bay inside of Rod Streeter. Carson Palmer, a play action. He's going to roll to his right. He's going to tuck it and run. 40, 35, down the sideline. Nicely done by Palmer. He's got a first down right at the sticks, out of bounds on the Arizona 30-yard line.
Yeah, nicely done. Didn't try to force anything. He got outside all the rushers and saw nothing but grass and just got the first down and then smartly stepped out of bounds.
Absolutely. You don't want to get those defensive backs coming up licking their chops. But also, it shows that he can run a little bit and get outside the pocket and pick up some yards with those legs, and that's always a good sign.
And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. Get prepared for anything to happen. Celebrate football's biggest moments with Crown Royal. Please drink responsibly. 24-8, Arizona over the Raiders. 2 minutes to go in the half on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Palmer will play the remainder of the half and turn things over to Matt Leinart. Monday against the Cowboys, he was 4 of 7 for 38 yards and an interception. Tonight so far, guys, 11 for 20, 97 yards, a second preseason interception. And we'll see if we can get the Raiders into the end zone. They have not yet scored a touchdown this preseason. Palmer, a play action, pressure up the middle by Vonnie Holliday. He gets hit as he throws. Catch by Rod Streeter, and a big hit out of bounds by the safety Johnson. How did Palmer get away from that sack of Vonnie Holliday?
Well, he did a nice job of getting away from him, and then even a better job in getting rid of the ball on target to Streeter.
Hey, and Pop, I'm a little disappointed in you. You know how athletic quarterbacks are. He was able to avoid the sack.
He's not going to be confused with Cam Newton or Michael Vick, but he's more athletic than you think he is.
Yeah, he is. He got out of trouble. He tugging on his jersey, but he going to his left, got Streeter the ball.
2nd and 6, Raiders going to an eye. And it's a quick one, a smoke route to Rod Streeter, a stiff arm on Fleming down the sideline. He got popped late, right up against the apron, but no flag comes down. And that's just a sight adjustment there, Tom.
Yep.
Carson Palmer saw the loose coverage by the rookie corner Fleming, so he just threw a zero route to Rod Streeter.
Yeah, that might be even just his hand signal between quarterback and wide receiver when the coverage is so loose that it's coming to you right now.
But I tell you, as Tom mentioned earlier, you got to find somebody else to go to. It's Streeter, all the time Streeter, and you got to have some other help.
Tell you what, though, he's a smart guy for a young guy that didn't play much in a passing game in school time to pick up that sight adjustment right out. He's a smart receiver, a lot of savvy.
There is.
There's a handoff to Lonnie Miller on 1st and 10. Gets off a hit, sneaks through, drops a shoulder, and rolls down to the Arizona 11-yard line. What a run there by Lonnie Miller. A lot of power.
Last week he had a lot of carries against Dallas. Did a real fine job, I felt. Not a whole lot of yards, but ran hard. Knew where the hole was, hit it hard.
They got to get going here. I mean, they're walking around like they got all kinds of time, and there's only a minute and 20 seconds left.
Play clock is at 20. Of course, from the 15-second mark on the play clock, the communication from Greg Knapp, and it is Knapp that calls the play right into Carson's helmet. It gets cut off at 15 seconds. Play clock at 4, 3, 2. They snap it. Hand off to Lonnie Miller. First down Raiders. It'll be 1st and goal Raiders on the Arizona 7-yard line with 53 seconds to go. So basically from this spot, it's 1st and goal. You got 4 shots at it.
I don't understand why they're just standing around. I mean, the clock is running right now, and they're all just standing around.
Yeah, I'm with you, Tom.
There
should be much more urgency. Get up in the huddle, onto the line of scrimmage, call your plays. You're not going to have 4 plays if you keep this up.
Well, you're going to have to throw it every time. 25 seconds to go in the half. Offset eye. Palmer going to run. Lonnie Miller Bangs down to the 3, and the Raiders will have to call a timeout now. And that'll leave them with 1 timeout left. So it'll be 2nd and goal, Raiders, on the Arizona 20-yard line. Arizona 3-yard line with 20 seconds to go, to be sure.
Well, 20 seconds to go, and they still have, what, 1 timeout left?
One timeout
left.
All right.
And 3 yards, 4 yards to go for a touchdown.
Greg Knapp is back on the Raiders sideline. He was the offensive coordinator earlier when Lane Kiffin was the head coach. And he left and went to Seattle, where he was an offensive coordinator the last couple of years. He was the quarterback coach of the Houston Texans. And he is excited once again to be calling plays.
Yeah, he is. Coaching his career. He was in training camp when I was there back in '87 with the Raiders. And since then, he's learned a lot of football, been with a lot of different coaches, learned a lot of stuff. Real fine young man, either coaching quarterbacks or coordinating the offense.
Learned that zone running scheme from Alex Gibbs, who was briefly with the Raiders, mostly known for his years in Denver, and also with Gary Kubiak. And the Houston Texans, he had Matt Leinart as the backup quarterback a year ago behind Matt Schaub, and Leinart reunited with Greg Knapp, and he'll be quarterbacking the Raiders in the second half. Can Palmer get him into the end zone? It is a 2nd and goal on the Arizona 3. Bunch formation left. Palmer pressures and just threw it away. He got A-gap pressure from Reggie Walker. Nobody blocked the inside linebacker again. And part of the problem, Tom, is the Raiders don't have their starting center, Stefan Wisniewski, tonight. He's out with a calf injury, so Alex Parsons is playing center.
Yeah, but they got to do a better job of picking up those back. If there's too many guys to block, the outside one should be the one that comes free, so he's not right in your face. Quarterback has to have a chance to see what he's throwing at.
All those linemen have to block down, protect the inside, so the quarterback can get the ball off.
Palmer got blasted. He got lifted up off the ground and nailed back on his backside. Palmer again pressured, throws in the end zone, broken up by Fleming. He was going to Rod Streeter again on the goal line. So you know where Palmer feels comfortable. It's going to number 80, Rod Streeter. So the Raiders again fail, not only in the red zone, but they had a 1st and goal twice and could not score. And the last time it was a 1st and goal on the 1-yard line.
Yeah, and so far they haven't had any answer to the blitzes, and they're coming right up to shoot. They have not been able to pick up any blitzes up to shoot, and if you can get that, if you can solve that problem, you get a chance to make some big plays, and they haven't been able to do it.
Field goal attempt by Janikowski, a 21-yarder. A timeout will be called by Arizona before.
Timeout, Arizona.
All right, they didn't have the right number of guys on the field, Tom, but they're worried about the Raiders faking this field goal.
It's certainly not to freeze Janikowski, because nothing bothers Janikowski.
Well, you got a punter that was a wide receiver at Fort Valley State, so you never know what will happen. Coming up at halftime over on the TV side of our simulcast, we'll introduce you to the new era of Raiders football. GM Reggie McKenzie and head coach Dennis Allen will get analysis from Coach Flores, and James Plunkett will show you the highlight of the first half and give you the scoring plays. But so far the Raiders have not scored a touchdown. They do have 2 field goals and the safety by Tommy Kelly. For a while there, the Raiders defensive front was dominating the game, and then the back-to-back turnovers on offense turned the game back over to the Cardinals.
Yeah, the turnovers just were, that was it's kind of like, that was the turning point, the turnovers.
Well, a short field every time, you know, the defense has their back to the wall, hard to stop somebody.
Eavesdropping on the quarterback meeting there. Got a couple of Heisman Trophy winners. High snap by Kondo, pulled down by King. A flag came down. And again, Kondo has been having a couple of high snaps here, which is so unlike him. Pro Bowl long snapper for a 2nd time last year. Janikowski made the field goal. This is against Arizona. The Raiders will decline it. And
doesn't matter, because another down over would still be 4th down.
Offsides. Defense number 31 lined up in the neutral zone. Penalties declined.
They'll be on the 2-yard line.
You want to go for it then?
It's preseason.
Now they're going to take the 3. So the Raiders have 3 threes and a 2. And that adds up to 11. After being shut out on Monday, Arizona leads 24-11. So Carson Palmer will turn things over to Matt Leinart in the second half as you go from one Heisman Trophy winning quarterback to another. Carson won his in 2002, and Leinart came back a couple of years later and won his Heisman in 2004. So they always watch Raider football very closely in Southern California, guys. But I think this year Heritage Hall is going to have Raider football games on each and every Sunday.
Well, I think they will. Watch their former players play out in Northern California in the silver and black.
Tommy Kelly with a safety. Tommy had his best year in the NFL, undeniably. Last year, Tom with a career high in sacks, 7.5 at his first career INT, but he looks like a highly motivated player, even more so this year.
Well, he looks at it. He's taken over more of a leadership role too. He's in the locker room, on the sideline, and trying to help the younger guys, because he's got knowing that they're going to try to keep him fresh. That's what the coach said last night. They're going to keep those guys in and out of the ball game, defensive linemen, especially the guys that have to rush the passer.
Richard Seymour played only a couple of series, and Tommy will not play in the second half. In the second half, the Raider Nation will get a look at some of the young players who are vying for time on that defensive front. Christo Bilokiti, a rookie round 6 out of Georgia State, and Dominic Hamilton, a rookie free agent who has played very well. They'll be the Raider D tackles in the second half as they get the touchback from Sebastian Janikowski. 9 seconds to go in the half. Likely a kneel down here from Arizona, and that'll be the half. John Skelton came in and led them right into the end zone after Kevin Cobb. A lot of whispers down here in Arizona, and ESPN reported this week that the starter will be John Skelton. We'll see. They got a couple of more games to play, but I think if they started right now, it would be Skelton. He will take the knee, and that will be the half. Raiders not yet in the end zone, but they do get 3 field goals and a Tommy Kelly safety. Arizona long punt return and a couple of takeaways, an interception and a fumble, and they lead at halftime. We will hear from Dennis Allen coming up later as we get set to begin the second half, and coming back on TV, a feature on the new era of Raiders football. This is the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Tommy Kelly's safety. Arizona had 3 touchdowns. The Raiders won the battle as far as the stat sheet goes, yet they're down 24-11. Welcome back. Greg Papa with Jim Plunkett and Tom Flores. The Raider offense, when Darren McFadden was in the game, Tom, was pretty good. Darren had one real nice run at 22 yards going out the left side in that first half.
Yeah, he did. He made a nice cut on that one, and that was one of the ones where they got a body on a body. They were having a little trouble with their zone scheme earlier because Arizona was shooting the linebackers through the gaps.
Rod Streeter was the guy, Jim. They targeted him 8 times. He had 7 catches for 43 yards.
Yeah, here's a guy who's undrafted, showing what he can do, getting a chance to play some football. And here's the sack by Tommy Kelly right there for a safety. But all in all, the big difference in the game, obviously, is the turnovers by the Raiders. That's really hurt them badly.
But these stats don't add up. The Cardinals had 3 touchdowns, but only 5 first downs, and touchdowns are actually first downs. So I don't know how this computes. The Raiders had 14 first downs to Arizona's 5, and the official numbers, Arizona had 52 yards of offense, not 53, and the Raiders outgained them 184-53. So there's some good for the head coach to be mulling over as we head downstairs. Check in with JT and the new Raider head coach, Dennis Allen.
Coach, let's talk about Carson Palmer. You gave him the first half. Evaluate his play.
Well, I mean, I think he was under duress most of the half, so we'll evaluate how he did. But obviously we got to play better. We got too many turnovers. We got a block kick, and we didn't execute. All right, we got to play better.
Even though you're not satisfied with the score, the defense really held Arizona in check statistically.
We did some good things on defense. The first drive, we didn't come out ready to play, and then we had a little blown coverage there on the second touchdown. So all in all, not pleased with the effort right now. We got to play better.
Thank you, Coach. Greg, back to you.
All right, JT, so we saw a lot of the starters in the first half. We'll see mostly backups in the second half. Sebastian Janikowski will not kick off to begin the second half. It will be Eddie Carmona, young guy by way of Monterrey, Mexico, went to high school in Arkansas, then to Harding. He will kick away, and William Powell, who figures to be Arizona's featured back in the second half, is also back to return this Carmona kickoff. And Powell's coming out 8 yards deep in the end zone. 10, 15, big hole, 30, 40. Carmona himself will run him out. Boy, Tom, that's alarming. The guy starts 8 yards deep in the end zone, and he has a gaping hole for a 53-yard kickoff return.
Yeah, that was just not very good coverage with the Raiders coming down. Somebody left their lanes, And when you leave your lanes, they left a huge hole in there. That was an easy run back for him.
It was the new guy. That is Corey Bosworth, who is related to Brian Bosworth, 97. I think he got out of his lane and pushed open there, so a wide open hole. It is Ryan Lindley, the new quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals, a round 6 draft pick who was vying to be their number 3. Awkward handoff to Powell. He squirts through and picks up. The flag comes down from the deep secondary. He's in Raider territory and close to a first down on the Raider 45-yard line. The flag coach came from the deep secondary.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. That's something. Most of the time on a run, that's offensive holding.
Could be defensive holding as well from that point, but we'll see what they have.
During the run, holding.
It's on the offense.
The outside receiver. 10-yard penalty will be enforced on the spot of the foul. First down.
That's a break for the Raiders as Powell squirted on through there.
He got lost in the pile.
He has run very well this preseason. Had a great game at Arrowhead Stadium last weekend. 92 yards on just 9 carries and popped a 67-yard run. William Powell, a small back at 5'9". But the quarterback in, Jim, is Ryan Lindley. Of course, they're having a big competition for the starting spot between Cobb and Skelton. Also big competition between Lindley and the incumbent Richard Bartell to be the third quarterback. There's Lindley back, and he'll throw down the sideline. Intercepted by Chimdi Chekwa. Boy, timed that beautifully, and the young quarterback got too much air going for DeMarco Sampson, and Chimdi came up with the pick.
Well, actually, I disagree. He didn't get enough air. You know, he should have thrown it over the top of his head. He seemed to be open on the sidelines in that coverage, whatever that coverage happens to be, but it's just a poor throw.
Yeah, it was a poor throw. That ball, you got to send that ball a little higher.
Yeah, too flat is what I meant to say.
Yeah. We knew what you meant.
He didn't get enough air. It's the dry air down here in Arizona, Tom, isn't it? So the Raiders get their first takeaway of the game, which is a big one. Chimdi Chekwa, the young corner out of Ohio State, he was playing well last year, then got hurt in the New England game and never came back. So the Raiders will change quarterbacks here. Matt Leinart is in. Jerron Kreiner goes in short motion, toss sweep to Lanye Miller. Gets a block, high stepping, and it'll bang down to the 40-yard line. Nice run there on the old-fashioned toss sweep.
Seems Leinart got a little bit of a boo here by the crowd. He was a first-round pick for Arizona back in 2006, I believe. And not a real warm reception for Matt Leinart here in Arizona.
Too bad. The quarterbacks get, you know how that is, Jim. Quarterbacks, they either get cheered or booed. There's kind of no in between.
Look at Lanye Miller, high step through that hole, churning those legs. Raiders lost Mike Goodson to injury. They don't have Taiwan Jones again this week. 2 in a row. He's out with a hamstring injury, so Lanye will run a lot. And he runs right over a big lineman on the cutback run. High stepping on one run and then showing power on the next run. Lanye's played well in training camp.
Yeah, picked up a good first down that time. I think he did.
If the Raiders are healthy, it's going to be tough for him, obviously, to make the football team behind Darren McFadden and Mike Goodson and Taiwan Jones, but he's proven that he may get a shot to play in this league one day. Darren McFadden carried the ball more in the first half tonight. Only had a couple of runs against Dallas on Monday. Had 9 carries tonight for 34 yards. Leinart cocks the throw, dumps down to the fullback Owen Schmidt. Gets a block from the wide receiver Eddie McGee. Clever block there by McGee to get Schmidt across midfield to the Arizona 49-yard line.
Nice block by McGee. I'm sorry, Jim, but I just wanted to point it out earlier, 2 plays ago, McGee made a nice block down also on a nice run that time by Miller.
And one of the things that you might see that Leinart actually runs this offense better than Carson Palmer, because he was working this offense with Greg Knapp at Houston.
For the last 2 years. He was a backup to Matt Schaub and actually started the game last year before he broke his collarbone. Leinart back, ball knocked down by the linebacker dropping back there. Brandon Williams was able to deflect that ball. The third-year linebacker from Texas Tech knocked it down as he saw that Leinart went to a 3-step drop and it was going to be a quick slant, coach, so he just dropped back and knocked it away.
Yeah, it was either going to be a quick slant or a little short out to the tight end on the left side, Torrey Humphrey.
Right.
And that time, the defender saw it, and they do what defenders are supposed to do. They can't get there, jump up in the air, get your hands up high.
And Matt Leinart was here for 4 full years, was cut early in the 5th year when they gave the job to Derek Anderson. He lost it initially to Kurt Warner, There's a pass to Eddie McGee on a crossing route, a short gain. And it's Brandon Williams, the active young linebacker on the tackle of Eddie McGee. First-year receiver out of Illinois who was on the Raider practice squad last year.
You know, and sometimes I just don't understand those pass plays. They needed 4 yards for a first down. They threw a 2-yard pass. And I'm sorry, you know, I'm just old school. Get enough for the first down on your route. It's not going to take you any longer to run 4 yards than it does 2.
You're old school, Jim, and I'm even older school.
Here's the punt flag down. Flag down on the punt, and Marquette King will kick this down to the goal line. It'll jump over Conroy Black into the end zone for a touchback. What's the flag for here?
The defender was not off the field in time. There was 12 men on the field.
Which side?
Cardinals.
Arizona, the automatic first down Raiders.
Yes,
it will.
It was 4th and 1. This happened twice against the Cowboys on Monday night, where Marquette King punts were also with a penalty, and the Raiders kept going.
12
Jim's
players
got
on the
it.
field.
12
Defense,
guys.
5-yard penalty, first down.
First down Raiders, so the Raiders stay out there.
When I was playing at quarterback, and if I saw a guy taking his time to get off the field on the opposing team, I'd have the ball snapped as soon as I could, knowing that we'd get a penalty on it, even if there was no play called or we weren't ready to go.
That's the old Cincinnati Boomer Esiason type of thing. Yeah.
So Arizona 7 penalties for 67 yards. The Raiders only 2 penalties in the first half, 17 yards. So the Raiders will get the ball. They'll continue with the ball when we come back, down 24-8, early third quarter from Arizona on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
Raiders trail 24-11. Interesting, when Matt Leinart came into the stadium, he had his own welcoming committee, members of the stadium crew, former players and staff. Greg Knapp told us about how he relates to Carson Palmer in those team meetings, and you could see how excited he is he could be back here again.
Throws up a duck here, but it's caught by the adjustment by Jerron Kreiner. I'm not sure if that was a back shoulder throw or not, or didn't look good out of his hand, Tom, but he threw it up in the air, and Kreiner went and plucked it for a 26-yard gain.
That looked like a duck coming out of a blind someplace with a shotgun up, is what you call it.
Now, Kreiner had him beat pretty good, so I don't think it was a back shoulder throw. He should have let him, could have ended up in a score.
Kreiner was over the top.
Yeah, good job by Kreiner making an adjustment, though.
Kreiner, the round 5 pick out of the University of Arizona up in Tucson. He put up great numbers. Here's a handoff, and they got stopped in the backfield. As Lanye Miller got nothing there, lost a couple of yards. Quan Sturdivant, the linebacker, shot through there and blew that up. Well, Matt Leinart is a very likable guy. Grew up in Orange County, where Carson Palmer grew up as well, and he was a high draft pick here, 4 years. He admitted afterwards he was just too young when he got here, did not know how to properly prepare. But when he went to Houston, Greg Knapp said initially he was mentally frazzled, but by the end of his time there, he was winning those Saturday night stumpies where they had to challenge the quarterback on knowledge of the offense. He had learned so much so quickly. Leinart will throw this away. That's a smart rollout. Got outside of the tackle box and just threw it away. Once he got to Houston, Jim, and spent time around Matt Schaub, he realized what it took to play in this league.
Yeah, sometimes when you get in the league, you're overwhelmed by everything you have to learn, the amount of time you have to put in to learn the offense. If you're a quarterback, it requires quite a bit of work, and I guess he just wasn't prepared when he got into the league, but he kind of grew into it, and he's now, according to Knapp, he's helping Palmer learn this offense.
Number 7 preparing for his 7th NFL season. The Raiders have one of the better backup quarterbacks in football, to be sure. Here's A-gap, blitzing pressure. They wall it off. Leinart throws, broken up by the rookie Fleming. A flag came down. It'll be pass interference. A late call there. Jamel Fleming reaching over the body of the wide receiver, Travion Session, and he is called for the interference.
Yeah, you can see it looks like he puts his right arm on his shoulder.
Defense, number 29.
Yeah.
Ball being placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Yeah, it certainly was pass interference. There's no question about it.
Yeah, no question about that. It was a well-thrown ball. The ball was thrown right on the mark, and the only way he could stop it from being caught was to interfere.
He grabbed his shoulder when he ran through his body. 16-yard PI. I'll make it first and goal. Raiders. 1-800-RAIDERS, Raiders.com to get your tickets. The Raiders will play the third and all-important preseason game next Saturday, a week from tomorrow, against the Lions. Be there for that. Be sure to be there September the 10th for the opener against the Chargers. Lanye Miller juggling the handoff. Will take it in the end zone. At last, a Raiders touchdown. Lonnie Miller off the right side powers in for the Raiders' first touchdown of the 2012 preseason.
Yeah, nice job there. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, there you go. You got your touchdown, Pop.
I waited all day, and I didn't even give it a good call on that.
Hey, one of many to come, believe me.
I forgot how to do it.
It caught you off guard, huh, Pop?
What are those called again, Tom?
Touchdown,
There you go.
Raiders.
There you go. Here's Eddie Carmona with the point after. Lonnie Miller looks good. Ran him a lot on Monday. And with the injuries to Taiwan Jones and a new injury. Oh, they blocked the extra point. You can't advance that. F.L. Johnson from his Presbyterian days wants to run it back, but he can't advance a block in the NFL in a PAT. But some problems with the placements, to be sure, minus Shane Leckler. But Lonnie Miller, his first touchdown in the NFL, even though it's in the preseason. And that makes the score 24-17. That's a score we know on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. The drive summary brought to you by IBM. IBM working to help mid-sized businesses become the engines of a smarter planet. Learn more at IBM.com/engines. Raiders 9 plays, 66 yards, 4:03 off the clock, and Lonnie Miller able to take it into the end zone. Of course, they were aided on the fourth down penalty on the punt and the pass interference call, which put the ball first and goal for the Raiders. And on that point after, it was Matt Leinart that did the holding, Tom, on the block extra point by Eddie Carmona, who will kick off here. That was the job of the backup quarterback for years. That was your job in KC. Powell will take it from the goal line, 20, cuts inside on Black, picked up and thrown back at around the 23-yard line. Well, the Raiders got it going here with a good defensive effort. The interception by Chimdi Chekwa gave him a short field, and they were able to take it in the end zone. Matt Leinart a jump ball to Jerron Greiner, and then Leinart to the end zone, and the pass interference call set it up there. And Lonnie Miller was able to punch it in from the goal line. First and 10, Arizona on their 23-yard line. Here's a draw to Powell, and he's hit by Mike Mitchell. Nicely done by Mitchell. I think he's going to play. He's always been a very good box safety, Tom, but they may blitz him more and use him more like a linebacker this year than ever.
Well, they're doing a lot of things on defense a little different, and one of the things is they're using the safety up there almost in a linebacker location, outside the strong side linebacker, or even sometimes the weak side. And from that location, they can drop in coverage or they can come on a blitz. And that time, Mitchell came on a blitz and made the tackle.
Loss of a yard, second down and 11 for Ryan Lindley. The rookie quarterback of Arizona dropping 7 steps. A roll out to Pod on the flat, slips a tackle to Miles Burris. And he's tackled from behind. Nicely done. The lineman, Hall Davis, who played well against Dallas on Monday, ran him down from the backside after Burris missed the tackle on Powell.
But the good thing about that is they played it correctly. He just has to be able to stop and make that tackle and not let him gain those extra yards. But everybody was covered as well executed on defense that time.
Third down and 6 coming up for Ryan Lindley. Raiders playing a lot of backup people here on the defensive front. Desmond Bryant is in, though, one of the better Raider defensive linemen. Down to the 4-point stance on third down. Lindley throws, catch, and a missed tackle there, and Rob Housley will run for the first down. Mike Mitchell lost the tackle, and he secured it. They'd be punting, but he lost it, and Housley runs for a first down and 12 yards. Rob Hausler on the catch.
One of the things about Mitchell, I mean, he's a very tough guy. He's good in the short area, but out in the open field, you've got to be more secure, more safe than that, and gather yourself. He just took a shot at him and missed.
And that's what happens when you blitz. You're out there one-on-one all by yourself, man. You have to make that tackle.
First and 10, Arizona on their 40-yard line. Lindley hands off to Powell coming left, and he's tackled by Miles Burris. Miles Burris started the game, coach, and he's playing now with a backup group. The second team group is this rookie out of San Diego State. The weak side linebacker gets a good run tonight.
Well, they got, without Aaron Curry here, then I haven't seen much of Kilgore tonight. And I think Bosworth, they just picked him up, yesterday? So they're a little short on linebackers.
Burris is playing in concert now with Travis Gaethel, who played collegiately here at Tempe at Arizona State. Second down coming up. Lindley rolling right, bubble screen to Michael Floyd. He dropped the ball. Michael Floyd, the rookie round 1 pick, number 13 overall out of Notre Dame. A pass a little behind him on the bubble screen, but he lost possession there.
Yeah, had a great career at Notre Dame. Caught a ton of passes. A big guy, 6'2", 220 pounds. They expect a lot of things from him, but obviously that wasn't his best.
He broke all of Jeff Samardzij's records, 271 catches for over 2,600 yards and 37 touchdowns. They lost Anquan Bolden a couple of years ago. He went to Baltimore, and he's a big guy like Bolden, but faster than Anquan Bolden. Third down, flags come down on the pre-snap. A false start penalty here on Arizona will drop them back 5.
False start. Offense number 72. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Rich Ornberger, backup center out of Penn State. When the center false starts, it's kind of obvious, isn't it?
That was kind of funny.
Might as well just snap it.
He might as well.
Yeah, he even had a little smile on his face when he went back to the huddle.
Did the center forget the snap count? Is that?
I don't know.
Midway through it, he went, wait a minute, that's not the right snap count. But if he snaps it, then it's all good.
Yeah.
He should have just snapped it. Third down. Low snap here from Ornberger. Lindley has time, throws left, catch made by Hausler. Hit by McCann, hit by DeMarcus Van Dyke, and the Cardinals will punt.
Another good defensive series by the Raiders defense, executing properly, being at the right place at the right time.
You know, Van Dyke looks like he weighs about 102 pounds. I mean, he's so thin. He's not poorly built, but he's just a real thin guy. I'd like to put a little bit more meat on his bones because, he can run like a deer. And he's just one of those young corners. He
actually is beefed up a little bit. Last year he was really thin. He's up to 185. This is a big-time cut here. DeAndre Muhammad back inside the 3-yard line. And he makes one guy miss, 10. Dropped at the 15-yard line. Dave Zastadil, their veteran punter, has had a great preseason. And that was a 55-yard punt, 13-yard return by DeAndre Muhammad. We have 6.5 to play third quarter. 24-17 Cardinals on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
Raiders trail 24-17. Last Sunday at the O'Datco Coliseum, the Raider Nation celebration. Close to 8,000 fans came out, and let me tell you, the highlight was when Reggie McKenzie addressed the crowd. The energy that he gave, it came roaring right back at him. It was an amazing event. Tickets available tonight. We have staff live in Alameda. 1-800-Raiders. That's 1-800-Raiders. Back to you, Greg.
All right, JT. Matt Liner trying to hit Lanye Miller in the flat, just off the outstretched hand, and incomplete. That'll bring up a second down. The Raiders have been having the Raider Nation celebration for the last several years, the last couple actually, inside the O.Co Coliseum. It was on Sunday right before the Cowboy game. Coach, was a good way to get the Raiders fired up for a new season.
Yeah, and it doesn't take a lot to get the Raider Nation fired up.
No, it does not. Tony Bergstrom is in now playing at left guard, the rookie round 3, who was a tackle, an all Pac-12 tackle. Lanye Miller will take it off the right side. Bergstrom from Utah, and history will show that's the very first draft pick in Reggie McKenzie's tenure as the Raiders GM was Tony Bergstrom.
Yeah, and he's mature. He's a little further along than most rookies because he's 25 years old, as you mentioned, and a little bit more mature. And they think that he'll be able to play a lot quicker than an average rookie.
He went away on a 2-year mission. He is older. He is married. He has a child. So he's a mature offensive lineman. He can play both on the left side and the right side. He was mainly a right tackle at Utah. Third down and 9 for Matt Leinart, the lefty back. Has time, throws left, open, caught. Carswell. First down, Raiders. Out to the 32-yard line. Nice strike there, Jim, by Matt Leinart, hitting Brandon Carswell, also from USC, for 18 yards.
Yeah, the protection was excellent, giving them time to throw, look down the field. They came on a blitz once again. It was picked up very well by the backs in the backfield and hit Carswell right on the break for a first down and a big gainer.
Yeah, and you mentioned you mentioning Bergstrom, and they had a little game go over there, a little stunt game with a backer and 2 defensive linemen. and he picked it up beautifully.
Raiders have their entire second-team offensive line in. Joe Barksdale is in. Lucas Nix is in. There's an end around to Kreiner. Breaks one tackle, breaks another. This big guy won't go down. He bangs out to the 39-yard line.
You know, I'm almost surprised that they're not playing Kreiner more, only because you know, they did draft him in the 5th round. But you know, a good run, get out of trouble. It was read well by the defense, but he was able to shake a couple of guys loose and pick up 8 yards on it.
Yeah, a little surprising though, Jim, because usually you save those reverses for your burners, you guys that can really fly. And he's not what you would call a burner. He's a bigger possession guy.
Yeah, he's a 4.68 40 guy. That's a play the Raiders run for Jacoby Ford. Liner throws, catch made by Session. And it's into Arizona territory at the 49-yard line, tackled by A.J. Jefferson. Travion Session caught that ball away from his body. Nice catch there by the young receiver from Nevada.
And you know, Streeter's not in there right now, and Liner's going to a lot of other receivers who are getting open and catching the football.
They are blocking better for him than they did when the ones were against the ones, coach, and Carson Palmer was under siege the whole first half.
Yeah, well, it's always a little different when you got the backups rushing.
Lonnie Miller off the left side, breaks one tackle, cuts inside, gets a nice block from Bergstrom. And the key thing is he didn't block the defender in the back. He got him on the side. That was a nice effort there by Bergstrom out in space.
Yeah, well, Bergstrom's a good blocker. Watch him here on the left, coming through and blocking, and he does a nice job of blocking on the left side. And also, the one thing I like about Lonnie Miller on that one, when he got in a lot of traffic, he put both hands on the ball and lowered his shoulders and got what he could get rather than trying to twist and turn.
Timeout called here as a Cardinal is dinged up in the middle of the field. That is Antonio Coleman, a backup linebacker. Raiders are down 24-7. 3:54 to go third quarter on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. New Dome Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, the home of the Cardinals since '06. Raiders will fly home right after the game. Have Players' Day off tomorrow, then back on the practice field on Sunday to get set for the Detroit Lions coming to the O.co on Saturday. Liner under pressure, backpedaling, runs away, now throws the ball away, and 2 flags came down.
Yeah, rushing the passer again, another one.
And Leinert is unhappy as he got hit. He got popped as he got wide enough to avoid the grounding, and then he got blown up there by the oncoming rush. So there's going to be a
personal
roughing
foul,
the quarterback.
Roughing the passer, defense number 95, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Ricky Lumpkin, rookie free agent of Arizona in 2011 from Kentucky, will hit him. And Liner got a little upset about it.
Well, there was the back.
He got blasted.
And he got the back that was in there missed the blitzer, and he knew that. That was Miller missing the blitzer, and then he really got blasted for right in the front. Well, that's a penalty. That's a fine right there.
He'll be fine.
That's a fine.
Dominic Rogers-Cromartie, the former Cardinal turned Eagle, went in the Kevin Cobb deal, just got fined $21,000 for a hit. I think they don't make that much, these undrafted guys, but Ricky Lumpkin is going to be sending some of his money to Park Avenue. And that was a frontal shot on Liner. Over 100 yards and penalties for the Cardinals, Jim.
And Terrell Pryor's in there right now.
They've taken Leinert out because of the big hit, and Terrell Pryor is in at quarterback. A little earlier than expected. He has to jump right in the middle of a drive. Raiders false started. Ronald Talley saw Barksdale move.
Start. Offense number 72. 5-yard penalty. First down.
They're moving Barksdale around town. He was on the right side, and did they flip him because they went to a right-handed quarterback?
No, he was there. He was there before. He was there. What they're trying to do with Barksdale, and what they're also trying to do, and they're not trying, they are doing it with Bergstrom, is they're working on both sides. Because they're the backup tackle. Barksdale's the backup tackle. Bergstrom's the backup guard. They're going to be able to have to play both sides of the ball.
Barksdale earlier in this half was playing right tackle. Now he's gone over to left tackle. Of course, having a left-handed backup quarterback, your blindside tackle changes. There's Eddie McGee on the zero route, but that was pretty tight coverage there. Not sure why Pryor threw that, because Fleming, the rookie, the corner, was sitting right there.
Well, that's just experience there. He probably thought he had a big cushion, but he really didn't. I mean, that's a little experience. You know, as Coach has said, Pryor is a work in progress, very eager to learn, very works hard, is trying to do everything he can to become a professional quarterback.
Well, it's a big adjustment. He ran the shotgun and the spread offense in Columbus, Ohio with the Buckeyes. Now he rolls into the backside pressure and he gets hit and he gets sacked. He just rolled out of the stretch right into Quentin Groves. That's the former Raider linebacker the last couple of years, Quentin Groves, who picks up that sack on Terrell Pryor.
Yeah, and so far this preseason, it's almost like everyone's playing for that play. No one has really gone. You have to, until you establish that you are really a good slant, a zone running team, they're not going to respect that as much. And Coach Shinsel as much last night when we were talking to the coach.
3rd down and 25. Pryor is under center, not in the shotgun. They're going to run Lonnie Miller off the left side. He picks up only 3. And the Raiders will be forced to, well, let's see what they do. They'll punt the ball away as they are going to bring in Marquette King.
And that's a missed opportunity. They're releasing field goal range at one point. A couple of negative plays hurt them badly, and you can't make those kinds of mistakes. Yeah, I see the frustration on Greg Knapp's face early on. Maybe he's mad at himself sometimes for the call that he makes, but still, you've got to execute.
That play you're talking about, Tom, and you run the outside zone one direction, you roll the quarterback, and that backside end is not blocked, and he's sitting right there. I mean, should you block that guy? That's going to be a problem.
Well, the thing is, you depend on selling the run so much that he will go for the run, and you can get outside of him. But they haven't been respecting the run at all, and that's the reason it hasn't worked yet. You have to establish that stretch run, and then once you establish a stretch run, you'll react to it.
Marquette King a 37-yard punt. Jamar Johnson a 5-yard return. Arizona will have the ball around their 20 when we come back. They're up 24-17. Minute 33 to play, 3rd quarter on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
Team taken off.
Backup quarterback Matt Leinart is going back into the locker room. He's going to have a right finger x-rayed. It looks like it's his right index finger. Remember when he got blasted by Ricky Lumpkin, Tom, and the flag came in as he runs away from the pressure and he gets hit right there.
He also got blasted right in the face, too.
And his finger got up and it got hit. Lindley throws middle behind the tight end Rob Hausler. Incomplete. So that's on his right hand, Jim. He's a left-handed quarterback. If it is broken, can he still play quarterback as your backup quarterback with a broken finger on his right hand?
Yes, he can. He throws with his left. Handing off with his right might be tough, but sometimes quarterbacks, when they have an injured finger on one hand or the other, they're able to two-hand the handoff at times. So it shouldn't be a problem, depending on how severe it is.
Or they also just hand off with their left hand all the time, depending on no matter what side they run the ball to, they can just hand off backwards. We've seen that.
Yeah, but that's hard to do, especially when it's the opposite side of your good hand. Then you got to reach across your body. Too many bad things can happen.
Javaris James with the run off the right side. I mean, Terrell Pryor still, Tom, a work in progress. There's no way you could have him as your number 2 quarterback. So if this injury is unplayable for Leinart, they'd have to bring a quarterback in.
Well, you would think so, but I don't think this is going to. An index finger is not the end for a quarterback if it's not on a non-passing team hand.
Now, we've seen quarterbacks play with a broken finger on the non-passing hand before. Windley on 3rd down. Gaethel blitzes. And Nacho caused the fumble. It's a touchdown for the Raiders. It is a touchdown picked up by Hall Davis, and he takes it in the end zone. Carl Iheanacho scooped it up. Caused the fumble. Now, did Davis get touchdown? It's a touchdown. Is the call on the field? It is a touchdown.
Yes, it's a touchdown.
Yeah, he did fall down prior to the goal line, and one of the referees felt he might have been touched, but the other referee did not agree, and they called it a touchdown.
Carl Iheanacho from San Jose State stripped it. Hall Davis scooped it up, and he did clearly roll into the end zone before he was touched down for a clear touchdown. And the Raiders are an extra point away from tying the game.
And it's been pretty tricky trying to make these extra points, too.
Yes, it has. You should almost go for 2 in this situation to avoid the tie game, but you don't want. At the end of regulation, they would go for 2.
Look who's holding the ball now.
It is Marquette King, the punter. High snap from Kondo, and Carmona makes the extra point, and we are tied at 24. Hall Davis has played well. He played well against the Cowboys. Carly Iheanacho also has played well, Tom. He came around the edge to cause the strip sack.
Iheanacho, that was perfect. He came around with his left hand, had the quarterback right hand. He knocked the ball out. And that whole thing was executed very, very well by these young kids.
Iheanacho played at San Jose State, a two-time all-WAC defender the last couple of years where he played defensive end. They list him as a strong side linebacker, Tom, but he'll play with his hand down, playing a three-point stance a lot. He had 17 quarterback sacks a year ago for Mike McIntyre at Spartan Stadium.
I can see why. I mean, he came around the edge that time. As soon as he came around the edge, he narrowed it down and lowered his shoulder and headed right for the quarterback. And that's a tough one because the quarterback did not see him coming at all.
Actually played at San Jose State 2 years ago. He was on the Raider practice squad last year, Jim.
Right, and the Raiders seem to have a lot of versatile athletes on the defensive line, playing inside or outside, pass rushing from both places, and that gives you a lot to work with. That's a plus.
Raiders have come back. They were down 24-8. They've come back to tie the game at 24 as Carmona will kick away. This is Powell from the goal line, angling left, 10, 15, 20, sneaks through 25. Chad Kilgore will hit him and drop him on the 27-yard line following the 27-yard kickoff return. Chad Kilgore has played well, number 47, in a good game last week against the Cowboys, as Iheanacho will go back out there with that second-team defense.
This is when a defense doesn't mind going out there after a scoring play like they had and not a turnover. They're anxious to get back out there and try to create another one.
30 seconds to go, third quarter. We're tied at 24. Tight end Jim Dre out of Stanford moves in motion. They've got a double tight formation right. Single back is Powell. They give it to Powell up the middle. And that'll be the final play of the third quarter. So we'll go to the fourth quarter with the Raiders and Cowboys tied. The injury concern certainly is paramount. The Raiders have lost Jacoby Ford to a foot injury, Mike Goodson to a chest injury, and now backup quarterback Matt Leinart is back having his right index finger x-rayed. So Dennis Allen has a lot swirling through his mind right now. There's the touchdown makers. Iheanacho the stripper on the sack. Hall Davis the scoop and score. And we are tied at 24 after 3 quarters of play in Glendale, Arizona. Arizona 24, the Raiders 24 on the Oakland Raiders Broadcasting Network.
Jason Tarver, the defensive coordinator, said, you want to make this team, you want to play on this team, you need to make plays. And Greg, Iheanacho and Davis, both guys with a fast motor, got into that end zone, made that play, and they're fired up here on the sidelines. Back to you.
Doing it for the mad chemist. Jason Tarver has a master's degree in biochemistry and molecular biology. Here's the end around here run by the Cardinals and Jamer Johnson. DeMarcus Van Dyke would have scored him out on their first play of the fourth quarter. It is the start of the fourth quarter. You can score a touchdown with Geico in just 15 minutes. You could save 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO today for your free rate quote. Iheanacho was a rookie free agent signing of the Chargers last year, was caught in a training camp, and the Raiders got him on their practice squad on December the 7th, and he is impressed. Here's a counter handoff to Powell, big hole, and he's got a first down out to midfield. Ran that counter play, coach, started right, came back left, and he had a gaping hole.
Yeah, that was a nice, very good, very well timed, very good. A good job blocking by the left side. Excellent job, especially the tight end, Rod, what is it, Hustler.
And he's a speed tight end.
Yeah.
He ran a 4.46 at the combine coming out of Florida Atlantic. Jason Tarver, a smart guy, went to Santa Clara where he had the degree in chemistry of Phi Beta Kappa, then went on to UCLA where he picked up the master's in biochemistry and molecular biology. But his love is football, his love is the Raiders. And he said his lifetime ambition, Jim, growing up in Pleasanton, went to Foothill High School, a Foothill Falcon, was to be the defensive coordinator of the Oakland Raiders in particular.
Yeah, he said that to us last night during our coaches meeting. talking about the game, talking about why he wants to be where he is, and it's great when you can fulfill your lifelong dreams. I mean, that's a great feeling.
He got me fired up.
Oh yeah, he's quite the talker, boy. He got me fired up in that room also. Wanted to strap on the old helmet and get out there and play a little bit.
And we haven't seen anything yet when it comes to what this guy's going to dial up on game day. He is holding back a little bit. He is the young defensive coordinator. You got Johnny Holland, the linebacker coach, Terrell Williams, the D-line coach, Clayton Lopez is back. Speaking of energy, how about Johnny Lynn on the practice field, the DB coach? Steve Hoffman takes over as the special teams coordinator. The great Al Miller, Tom, is the new strength and conditioning coach, going back to Bear Bryant in the days at Alabama.
Wow.
I think he broke out the Gatorade. He was the first one to do that. What do we got here? A third down, or a second down and short. Handoff, Powell off the right side, cuts back inside. Did he get that foot they needed for the first down? I believe he did.
Yes, they did.
As he's got to the midfield, first down, Arizona. A reminder that our broadcast tonight, Oakland Raiders football, is brought to you in part by Safe Light Auto Glass. A lot of young energy on this coaching staff. Jason Tarver, the defensive coordinator, and a defensive-minded head coach. The head coach is talking into that headset a lot right now, even though it is Tarver calling the defense. First and 10. Lindley, a 5-step drop, has time. Deep one down the sideline. Out of bounds. Good play by the safety coming over the top. Brandon Underwood, the former Green Bay Packer, as they went deep down the sideline there to DeMarco Sampson, and the safety came over to help on the coverage of Chimdi Chekwa.
Chimdi went for that first fake a little bit. And the receiver got behind him by a couple of steps, but Underwood was there and helped out.
The ball was a little bit to the outside. It should have probably been thrown a little sooner. The play was there, but they did not execute.
Brandon Underwood, a guy that Reggie McKenzie knew from Green Bay, a round 6 pick of the Packers in 2009, was there for a couple of years in the 23 games. There's Powell coming wide, gets around. Chekwa goes up in the air to avoid the tackle. What a play by Powell, the running back, jumping way above the field level to avoid that tackle. That was impressive.
Yeah, he's not a very tall guy, but he certainly has some jumping ability and running ability. Got pretty high on that one, didn't he?
Underwood trying to undercut him, and he jumped right over the would-be tackle. That's why they do the standing broad jump at the combine, huh? You think that'll never come into play in the football field? Well, it kind of did there.
I'm not sure what they're waiting for here.
I guess they're measuring to make sure it's a first down.
I think they're going to call timeout here.
Ken Wisenhunt's going to call time as the play clock was getting down. Wisenhunt, the 6th-year head coach of the Arizona Cardinals.
First charge, timeout.
Call from the sideline did not come into Ridley on time. It'll be first down, Arizona, when we come back. 12:19 to go, tied at 24 on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Following them, and certainly here on the West Coast in Glendale, Arizona, a lot of silver and black in the crowd tonight. They watch the Raiders play their second preseason game of 4. They'll be back home on Saturday, a week from tomorrow, to take on the Detroit Lions. That'll be most like a real game, guys. The starters will play the entire first half, come back and play a good chunk of the third quarter against Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson next Saturday. That's one to check out, certainly at the O.co Coliseum. 4 o'clock kickoff on the 25th. 1-800-Raiders or Raiders.com. Lindley, play action, going to throw, and he throws into coverage, and it's caught. He took it away from DeMarcus Van Dyke. It was DeMarco Sampson who just went up and took that ball away from DVD. What a catch.
What a great play. It was well covered. DeMarcus Van Dyke had him well covered against the sideline, but he just outleapt him, had long arms, and grabbed the ball right out of the air for the catch.
Quite a throw, too. That throw was thrown with some velocity behind it, and a nice catch. Went way up in the air.
DVD had the inside position. He had to jump right over the top from the backside. DeMarco Sampson, a young receiver out of San Diego State. DVD has gotten much better with his ball skills, but that time Sampson just took it away. Powell off the left side, breaks a tackle, and walk into the end zone for a touchdown. DeMarcus Van Dyke missed the tackle out on the flat there, so he got beat for the jump ball, and then one-on-one he missed the tackle, and it's a touchdown.
But that's a perfect example of not protecting your backside. The ball was away. He should have been a little bit more to the outside to turn that play inside.
Yeah, backside leverage is always important.
So his inside shoulder's got to be on the outside of the back to force him back to the middle.
Correct. He just played. He played the run, but that's not his assignment, and he'll be talked to by the coaches about that.
Yeah, if you have no help to the outside, you got to keep everything inside and turn it back in. At least you got somebody coming from the inside.
We were talking earlier about how slight of build DVD is at 185 pounds, but a lot of guys who are slender guys can help in the run game when they play the proper leverage. He lost the tackle here, and Powell takes it in the end zone for a touchdown. Arizona back up 31-24, 11:25 to play on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Superb preseason, and as Russ Grin, the head hog, Tom, the Hall of Famer, their O-line coach, coming over to talk to him. And warming up, well, they each got a helmet on, so we'll see if Terrell Pryor stays in the game or if Kyle Newhall Caballero comes in. He is from Brown Caballero, Newhall Caballero, but he also grew up here in nearby Gilbert, Arizona, went to Gilbert High School. So Greg Knapp said he wanted to play him a little bit. He's taking the helmet off, showing off that nice rookie hairstyle he has.
I wonder who cut it, him or somebody on the team.
It's rookie hazing. He cleaned it up just in time to see Mom. Here's the kickoff, and that'll be Brian McCann at the back of the end zone taking a knee for a touchback, and it will be Terrell Pryor who will continue at quarterback. Once we get any word on the x-rays of Matt Leinert's right index finger, we will pass them along to you. He's being x-rayed as we speak, probably over now, but I'm not sure they'll have the results that quickly. So quite a conversion. The guy now played in 20 months since the Sugar Bowl of 2011, January of 2011. He was a shotgun spread quarterback at Ohio State, trying to learn to play under center in the NFL. A lot of work. Lonnie Miller, the lone back. Kreiner is right, Session left. Counter run to Miller. And he picks up about 3, and he's slammed down by Blake Gideon, young safety out of Texas, who has played very well this preseason.
You know, it's incumbent on these players that are in there right now to, to play hard, to carry out their assignments, give it all they've got. They want a spot on this team, and if not on this team, then hopefully they'll shine enough that other teams that need somebody like them will see how they play, and that might be picked up by another team.
Raiders have that second team offensive line in, so a good chance to see Tony Bergstrom and Lucas Nix, who has played well. Miller off the left side, finds a crack, sneaks on through, and he rolls out close to a first down. He'll be short by a couple. Third down, Joe Barksdale, and is playing at left tackle in this configuration, coach, with Bergstrom at left guard.
Yeah, get them work at both sides, as I mentioned earlier. That's their plan, and I know Coach said that earlier in camp, Bergstrom was his mind was just spinning because he's used to playing tackle. All of a sudden he's playing left guard, and all of a sudden he's over at right guard, and the calls are different, the blocking is different. It's an entirely different ballgame.
You got to learn to play both, though. You get up on game day, you have 2 or 3 backup offensive linemen in case of injury. These guys have got to play on both sides. Prior to play action to Miller, looking for the fullback in the flat, take it away. Will he run for the first down? They'll try. Let's see where they spot him. And to get to the 30-yard line, of course, and he's going to be short. After the touchback, it's pretty easy. You got to get to the 30, and they are just a little bit short, so they will punt the football away. He wanted the fullback in the flat, Owen Schmidt, and they took that away from him.
Yeah, they did. It wasn't much of a fake, and they didn't fool Arizona at all. And as soon as he saw that, he had no other choice because there wasn't a secondary receiver. You look deep and look short. First of all, you look for that short guy to get the first down. That play is just designed for a first down.
Larry Parker is back to return this punt of Marquette King, who has had one blocked tonight. High snap, but he has a real strong leg. And he lets this one soar. Conroy Black, the gunner, was bearing down on Parker, and he forced that late fair catch. But that was pretty gutsy by Parker. He waited and waited and waited, and then he threw up his hand. 54-yard punt by Marquette King. Very impressive. 9 minutes to go. Raiders down a touchdown on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
His ability to communicate, I think he's going to be a great communicator, not only to his coaching staff and his players, but throughout the building.
Reggie McKenzie talking about his new head coach, 39-year-old Dennis Allen, who by 6 months is the youngest head coach in the NFL. He told us last night the biggest influences on him, Emmett Thomas when he was in Atlanta, and Dan Reeves there, and Wade Phillips as well, and of course Sean Payton, who he worked with in New Orleans. Here's Thomas Clayton getting loose on a run out the right side. Former 49er picks up about 11 yards and a Arizona first down. Dennis Allen 10 years ago was breaking into the NFL on Dan Reeves' staff in Atlanta, quality control coach on the defensive side, moved up quickly, went to New Orleans, and the defensive backs coach on a Super Bowl champion with the Saints and Sean Payton. And we knew how good he was last year, Tom, watching him build that Denver defense. Tebow took all the headlines, but they won the AFC West last year behind Von Miller and that defense.
It was excellent. They kept the game close, and they give the offense a chance to do something in the fourth quarter.
There's Ryan Lindley throwing the bomb again down the sideline out of bounds. Good coverage there by Chimdi Chekwa as they took a deep shot there to the wide receiver Steven Williams, and Chekwa ran stride for stride with him, Jim. Chekwa's played well tonight.
He has. He's been in a lot of the right places at the right time, making some big plays defensively and also coming up with a few tackles.
He is a young corner, second-year corner of Ohio State. You know, the Raiders are going to have Ron Bartell as the starter on the left side and Shante Spencer on the right side. Who will be their nickel corner this year? Michael Huff did that a lot in the base, but who will be the third corner? Pat Lee is not playing tonight. Could be a guy there. There's a fumble. The Raiders may have the ball back as Thomas Clayton lost the ball at around the Arizona 40-yard line. Raiders need this football down to touchdown with under 8 minutes to play as they unpile.
He's down.
They're saying he's down, huh? Still Arizona ball? No, Raider ball. They have given the ball to the Raiders. On a fumble, the Raiders take it over on the Arizona 40-yard line.
Fumble recovered by Oakland.
So Terrell Pryor will go out here and get the call from Greg Knapp as we'll see the running play here by Thomas Clayton off the right side. And the ball got punched out.
Yeah, definitely got punched out. And then everybody goes down into the scrum mode, and it was recovered by
95.
Who's 95?
Mason Brodeen.
Yeah. Nebraska Kearney.
And he was on the Raiders last year on their practice squad. So Pryor takes over on the Arizona 40, trying to tie the game or take the lead with a two-pointer. Pryor's going for a bomb. Over the top to Kreiner, broken up by A.J. Jefferson. Nice coverage there by Jefferson as Pryor took a deep shot in the end zone for Jerron Kreiner, the big receiver, who was well covered by Jefferson.
He had a step on him initially. He had about a half a step or so on him, and the ball just hung up there a little bit too long. Too much air in the ball, and it was inside too. You got to put that ball outside, over the outside shoulder, to give him a chance.
Trying to take advantage of Kreiner's size at 6'3", former basketball player. He'll win a lot of jump balls for Greg Knapp. 2nd and 10 Raiders. Carswell McGee right. They were on a toss sweep led by Haslam. Lanye Miller cut back inside, right into the tackler. Looked like the block was made for him to go inside, and he went back to the outside. And he got lifted up and buried by Marche Green, the cornerback.
Yeah, I agree, Pop. I think he should have stayed on the inside. The blocker was kicking the defender out, so naturally he should have come inside.
He almost lost the football when he got hit by Green also. Green, a nice tackle, put the helmet right on the football.
Yeah, that ball was going up in the air.
Well, now for the Raiders, it is 3rd down and 8 on the Arizona 38. 7 minutes to play in this preseason game. The Raiders are down 31-24. They have Terrell Pryor in the shotgun. Looking Carswell left, a pre-snap penalty. The Raiders false started.
False start. Offense number 60. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
It is Kevin Haslam, third-year lineman out of Rutgers. He was a Jacksonville Jaguar for a couple of years, had some injury problems there. They've moved him around as well, Tom. I've seen him play a lot of left tackle in Napa. Right now he's playing right tackle.
Yeah, those guys that are backups, they have to be able to go both sides. If they're fighting for that third and fourth position, they got to be able to go both sides.
He's listed on the depth chart as the third-string right guard, but he's played more tackle. 3rd and 13 for Pryor. He has Miller to his left in the shotgun. Here comes a blitz, a screen to Lonnie Miller, a couple of blockers out in front. But the Cardinals close fast, and from the linebacking core, they will hold him shy of the first down at the Arizona 35-yard line. So if you're Dennis Allen, how do you play this?
Well, I think they're going to try a field goal.
They're going to kick the field goal.
It looks like that way.
And they want the ball back on defense then and try to win it with a touchdown. Looked like Miller, Jim, had an opening there, but those linebackers came quickly from the second level.
Well, they were playing more of a zone that time. They were letting everything underneath, be caught so they can converge on the football once it's thrown, and that's exactly what they did.
Eddie Carmona has a strong leg. Last year at Harding, he made a 62-yard field goal. They had the kicking tee in college, but still, he's a left-footed kicker like Janikowski. This will be a 53-yard attempt from the left hash. Kondo will snap, King will hold. They got it down. Carmona has it away, and it is good from 53 yards away. Had an extra point block, but from 53, no problem.
Yeah, ball didn't get very high, but it doesn't matter. It went through.
I tell you, nowadays, these 50-yard kicks are commonplace,
Yeah.
Before, back a few years ago, it was, if you kicked over 40 yards, you had trouble.
From 53 and right down the middle, Raiders down 31-27 with 5.5 to play on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. University of Phoenix Stadium, Glendale, after a 53-yard field goal by Eddie Carmona. The Raiders are within 4, 31-27 with 5.5 to play. Carmona, very strong leg. We mentioned at Harding last year. Transferred from Central Arkansas to Harding. He made a 62-yard field goal. And that 53-yarder was plenty good. Hits this one high in the air on the kickoff. William Powell, 5 yards deep. He's coming out. 5, 10, 15, 20. And he's dropped it around the 25-yard line. It was opening night last year when Sebastian Janikowski lined it up to tie an NFL record, a 63-yard field goal. Kondo will snap. Leckler will hold. Can he do it from 63? Part of history. Good. Jano has it away. I think he may have the distance. It is goal! He made a 63-yard field goal to tie the all-time NFL record. It was Tom Dempsey in 1970 with the New Orleans Saints, and later Jason Elam, a mile above sea level as well. Tom, we were both there for that amazing kick. I was more impressed with the 61-yarder he made in Cleveland when it was below 32 that day. But the history books will show the 63-yarder was more impressive. I think he's going to break that record.
Well, if he play in Denver, he could.
He could do it below sea level in Oakland.
Yeah.
31-27. He has 2 of the 5 longest field goals in the history of the NFL. Also made the 61-yarder in Cleveland. 2nd down and 8. They picked up only a couple on the run on 1st down. They're going to run a counter handoff to the back here. This is Javaris James, and he picks up only a few. So last year, finally, Sebastian Janikowski went to Honolulu. It was way overdue, Jimmy. Finally, a Pro Bowler, all-time Raider scoring leader, shattering the records of George Blanda. The 63-yarder, he's made 350 or more, also beat the Jets in overtime with a 57-yarder, the longest overtime field goal in the history of the NFL. Probably the strongest-legged place kicker in the history of pro football.
And possibly the biggest.
He is. He is. He doesn't have his running mate, Shane Leckler, not able to play these first 2 preseason games. Maybe he'll play against Detroit next week. Lindley will throw one down the left sideline. They beat DeMarcus Van Dyke again to the 41-yard line. Well-placed ball there by Ryan Lindley to Stephen Williams as he beat DeMarcus Van Dyke for a 31-yarder.
Yeah, very, very well thrown, and Van Dyke was beat by at least 2 steps. Actually, the receiver had to slow down just a little bit. The ball was thrown on target, caught it in his stomach, really almost dropped it.
And we saw this from his very first preseason game last year in Oakland against Larry Fitzgerald, where DVD Tom will have tight coverage, but he will not play the ball in the air, and they still fit it in there and complete the ball on him.
There's no question he can run, but you got to run, and when you can run, you got to make the play also.
There's a handoff to Javaris James, and he goes straight ahead for a few more there. That'll bring up a second down of about 5. Arizona Cardinals, like the Raiders a year ago, Jim, 8-8 in the NFC West. They were off to a horrible start. They won their opener and then lost 6 in a row. Went to 1-6 before rallying to win 7 of their final 9. If they get decent quarterback play and the outside of their old line plays well, they can run the ball. They have a very good defense. Can they challenge the Niners in the NFC West this year?
Well, I'm sure they can. They got to just get to playing the years they played when Kurt Warner was a quarterback. I don't think they're going to get that kind of play out of these guys, though. 2nd and 3. They hand off to Edgerrin James' cousin, kind of jump cutting like Edge used to. And we're already at a 2-minute warning here, boys. This game is expiring very quickly on us as we hit the 2-minute warning. A break in the action. A reminder that tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Safe Light Auto Glass. We hit the 2-minute warning in Glendale, and the Arizona Cardinals lead the Oakland Raiders 31-27. Back with the final 120 seconds on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Games is to win. That's the whole point. Obviously, you're not going to play your starters 4 quarters in a preseason game, but he would like to find a way to get the ball back here. 1st and 10, Arizona on the Raider 30. 2 minutes to play. They run James again up the middle, and the Raiders, led by Chad Kilgore, will stack that up and call a quick timeout. See if they can get the ball back. If they hit a field goal and the Raiders score a touchdown, they could tie the game or go for 2 and still win it.
Oakland. First charge timeout.
It was in early July, boys, that the Raiders lost Big Ben, one of the great Raiders of the 1960s and early 70s. Tom, Ben Davidson passed away at the age of 72.
Yeah, he was a dear friend. Remember when he first came to us in the early 60s, and nobody knew much of Ben Davidson. He'd already been with the Redskins, and I'm not sure who else, out of the University of Washington. Had a normal voice then until he got hit in the throat, and all of a sudden he became Ben Davidson with that voice.
And that voice fit him.
Oh,
he
great.
was with the handlebar mustache for Jim. He personified the Raiders' mystique of the late 60s, early 70s.
Oh, he certainly did, but he epitomizes also the gentle giant, big, soft, kind-hearted man.
If you were too young to remember the great Ben Davidson, just want to reminisce, next Saturday in the game against the Lions at halftime, we're going to have a great feature on Big Ben. Here's the handoff to James, and he'll back his way forward. Timeout Dennis Allen here. So what he's thinking, let's get the ball back if we can.
Timeout.
If not, if they hit a field goal, we could still
Second charge timeout.
come back and tie the game or win the game with a touchdown.
Well, it gives you a chance to work on certain things also. It's a growing, it's a perfect situation, for the Raiders and for Terrell Pryor to use the 2-minute offense. He's not much experience in that at all in this kind of system anyway.
And also, it's something for the rookie head coach to learn. What he talked about, and he's never been a head coach on any level. He can coordinate a defense, and he's very detailed and organized. But a big transition, Tom, as you well know, is game management. And he said, I could sit in my office and try to come through with every scenario that'll come up, but you just can't. You have to go out and just play and learn it, and this is a good situation for him.
Yeah, and he likes to practice these things too. When I was up in Napa, they were practicing the 2-minute drill. They were practicing this situation, and they need better clock control.
3rd down and 5. Underwood is creeping up from his safety position to show blitz. They run away from him. James gets the edge, and down the sideline. That back wanted to stay in bounds, but he ran out of bounds to stop the clock. But he does have the first down with 1 minute and 40 seconds to play.
Yeah, and that just about ends it now. They could kneel down 3 times in a row, and the game will be over.
Well, Raiders still have 1 timeout, but you're right, it's probably not enough time.
Had the back stayed in bounds, it would have ended the game. They would have kept the clock rolling, but by going out, he does give the Raiders a bit of hope, but that is going to be tough as Edge's cousin got the edge there. Javaris James, the cousin of the Colt great and former Cardinal Edgerrin James, who probably ended the game with that sweep. There's James coming left, turns back inside. And they'll drop him in bounds, so the Raiders will be forced to call a time if they choose or use it later. They're not going to call the time. It'll tick down now as we approach 1:20 to play. So the Raiders, Tom, will go back to Napa when they land. They're going to get home in the wee hours tonight, flying right home after the game, of course, on the charter. Get home at 2 or 3 in the morning, and players have an off day tomorrow, back at it on Sunday afternoon for a practice. And they're actually going to break camp this week. Thursday will be the final day of Dennis Allen's first training camp as the Raider head coach.
Yeah, and I think you have to say it's probably been a pretty successful camp. You know, they've had a lot of work done, and then he tried to set to the tempo that he wants year round, and then also getting used to these new rules that they have, when they can wear pads, when they can practice, how long they can practice, when they can't practice. I mean, there's a multitude of new rules now with a new collective bargaining agreement.
And the concern after the game is they'll check with Rod Martin and the medical people right away. You got to find out about Jacoby Ford and his foot injury, Mike Goodson and the chest injury, and how do the x-rays come out on Matt Leinert's right index finger, Jim?
Yeah, all the things you don't want to worry about, you have to worry about, because injuries are definitely a part of the game. And, you know, those are 3 guys who are pretty instrumental in the long running success of this football team.
Starting wide receiver, your backup running back, and your backup quarterback time. You can't lose those guys.
Well, we've got to get these guys. We got to get guys back like Denarius Poor and Tywan Jones, because there's the young guys that need to work.
Dennis Allen and Ken Wisenhunt made it midfield after a couple of kneel downs. The Cardinals will win. They will go to 1-2 on the preseason. The Raiders will fall to 0-2 in a big game coming up on Saturday. The third one is the most meaningful of all. We'll be on the air at 4 o'clock on TV, 3:30 with a radio pregame for the Raiders and the Detroit Lions. JT the Brick will bring you on home on TV. Coach Flores and I are going to wash off the makeup and have a closing thought over on radio. 31-27 is your final. Arizona beats the Raiders on the Oakland Raiders Broadcasting Network.